Hi everyone, welcome back to Final Film. Today we are bringing you a new top 10. It's been a while since there's been so many of us around a Zoom call doing a top 10. So we're going to do our top 10 movie monsters. Now this has been in the pipeline for a while. I think at one point we did have a list a while ago, or we all had lists a while ago. I've gone back and I've sort of tweaked mine a little bit, added a couple of things in here and there. But it's going to be the first of a few that we're bringing you over the summer. We're going to do things like top 10 fight scenes as well, which I've been rewatching a lot of fight scenes on YouTube. So I wonder if anyone can see my watch history on YouTube and is wondering what's going through his head. Is he annoyed at something? Um, we're going to do, me and Ollie are going to do recasts, best and worst recasts. Michael, I think, are you coming on for the remakes one, Michael?
Yes, come on,
Yes.
remake.
I can't think of any others that we said we're going to do, but there might be more. We'll find out when we get to it. There is a schedule. So we're going to do honorable mentions first. So I've got a couple. Has anyone actually got any others?
I've got a few.
Okay, right. So I'll do mine just to sort of get them out of the way. Um, Purely because we're talking movie monsters, I didn't include the clickers from The Last of Us because oh, Ollie's now rechanging his list.
No,
Okay, fine.
no change.
Well, purely because we're doing movie monsters, and I was like, they're a video game and a TV series, so I'm not going to include them. But
Mm,
obviously, they're terrifying as they are.
mm.
Purely for the camp side of things, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, which just to give him a mention, you
Yeah,
know, um, and also Ivan Ooze from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie,
great.
because he's it's
He's
great,
got too
great
much
performance.
character. Like I love characters like him, but he's got too much character to for me to think of him as the monster.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I was just like
Yeah. Although
purely
when he's
campy.
big, maybe when he's
Yeah,
fighting the Megazord.
yeah, there you go. And then I suppose the one that I think at one point was in my 10 but dropped out just as I kept thinking about it were the Death Angels from the Quiet Place trilogy. So purely because they suit the gimmick of the film, but realistically they're only lethal if you are noisy. So
Mm.
you can sort
They're
of quite
also
easily.
they're also remarkably easy to kill. You just have to play annoying high pitched
Yeah,
noises.
or turn the volume up really loud and shoot them in the rear hole. And then
Yeah.
at that point they're done with. So
Yeah, I'm
honorable
amazed
mention.
our military got overrun by that monster.
Yeah. Someone's
It's
not
really
doing the job
weird.
right. Complacency is the thing that is the actual monster.
Yeah, they
Uh,
all forgot to take the suppressors off their weapons, so they were all too quiet when they
oh,
were fighting them.
this is it. Right. Michael, let's do your honorable mentions.
So the first one is I was considering putting the Nemesis in there from Resident Evil, but the movie version of it isn't very good.
Okay.
The video game in Resident Evil 3 is it's genuinely a force to be reckoned with. And then I put the Balrog from Lord of the Rings in honorable mentions because it was in my list at one point, and I was like, I don't know if it really counts as a monster. And then for the same reason, I've got Dracula slash werewolves
Mm.
because they're just like they are monsters, but they're also just dudes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I was
Like,
I was debating about vampires for a while.
yeah, they're just
Mm.
thirsty
And
boys, aren't they? That's
yeah,
all
I
they
feel
are.
like you've
Yeah.
just got like they are thirsty boys. It's just
That's all
generic
they are.
vampire.
Well,
Uh,
did everybody agree that like if it speaks, it probably can't be counted as like if it's
Yeah,
got
so
like
I've not
its
um,
own
included Predator for the
personality to
same
itself?
reason because Predator's like just a hunter and they're prey. So it to me didn't fit monster, it's more villain.
well, I've got two that arguably can speak, but it's part of the reason why they are monstrous that they can speak.
I think,
I think
yeah,
there's a lot of grey area, isn't there? They're just
yeah,
ones
there
for
is.
So
me that
I'll
were
come to
too
that. I'll
more
come to that later, you know.
further.
Okay, Holly.
I've got the Cabin in the Woods because it has all of the
Yeah,
monsters.
fair.
Obviously, you can't pick one out from there, but as a monster movie, it's great. Um, I think, as Michael's already said, computer games do monsters amazingly well. When I was just trying to think of my favorite monsters, I kept coming up with computer game ones. I think, like, a big trope in a lot of the games I play is that one of your allies or like an NPC that is kind of good will get hurt or betrayed and turn into a
Mm.
monster at some point in the game. And I like that trope. And there are a lot of monsters that are really good in that. BioWare do that quite well. I think that like Dragon Age have like quite a few really good monsters. And then like a couple of things that are kind of monstrous, but are scarier to me when they're humanoid. So Pennywise from It becomes monstrous at the end, but he's way scarier as a clown to me. When he becomes the monster, he kind of loses some of the creepiness for me. And then like the Ring Girl, I didn't think I could call her a monster, but she is incredibly scary. But I couldn't find enough monstrous elements to be able to call her a monster. I think a lot of ghosts I didn't put on the list, even though I find them very scary.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I get that. Because I thought about demons a lot and ghosts and sort of like the paranormal, which I think is just a whole, I don't know, it's a very grey area. Oliver, go on.
I've only got two. I've got Bruce, the big shark boy from Jaws. I think that would be a controversial one because he is one of those iconic movie monsters, but I think he's like the best bits of Bruce are where you actually don't see him. So I think that's massively against him. And also we, collectively saw a show that kind of ruined the movie magic for Bruce a little bit. Go and check it out. The Shark is Broken. It's a really
It's
good
a very
show.
good show, though.
Yeah. The other one that I thought of, because it kind of goes in line with that, it's very specifically the weird demon zombie boys from Wreck and the Wreck series.
Hmm.
Because I just remember Wreck as a film, like it's probably my favorite foreign language film, or it's certainly up there. Of just being this different, slightly different take on zombies and the way they're presented, and there's a harrowing scene at the end in particular. Um, where it is, yeah. So the demon zombies from Wreck,
Okay.
my other one.
Right. Well, let's stay with you then, Oliver, if you want to kick us off with your number 10.
Mm. My number 10 are mischievous. They are small, but they are mighty. I've gone with the Gremlins. Spike and the gang from 1984's Gremlins. I just remember like being amazed even as a kid because Gremlins is one of those films that I think everybody saw a bit too young because it's kind of the point. Like it's almost like your first introduction to like quite scary horror. And I just remember, obviously loving Gizmo, thinking he was one of the cutest things around and loving his voice and loving his personality. And then just the difference when he gets a bit wet and Spike and the gang rock up and they're just all those annoying kids that everybody has in their class instead of the really good kids who want to do well for themselves. And then just that horrific transformation after they've tricked Billy into feeding them and they just become these balls of snot cocoons that slowly slowly transform and become genuine murder demons. Like the design is great. Am I right in thinking they're a Stan Winston effect?
I think so.
They look way too good to not be Stan Winston, and just the mayhem they get up to, like killing poor Joe who's got PTSD from flying planes in the war, killing that horrible old woman who like is introduced to us by threatening to kill a man's dog because that's normal because we've got a Spielberg produced film. Like, yeah, the design is great, the characterization is great, despite the fact they don't say anything. And that final sequence where they're tracking Spike through the store and he gets his hands on like a chainsaw and a gun is just brilliant. I love the lore behind them. I love that the sequel takes the mick out of the lore and like starts asking reasonable questions. Okay, well, how far after midnight are you allowed to feed them? Like, do they have to go to sleep first or something like that? Does it depend what time zone you're in? But yeah, the Gremlins.
They're not they're not a Winston, I don't think.
Wow,
From
who
what I
did
can
them?
see, a guy called Chris Wallace. Um, that's the vocal effects. Development, and then it says designer Chris Wallace spoke on the creation of the initial concept of the ideas.
Fair. Did Frank Welker voice Spike as well?
That wouldn't surprise me at
He
all.
sounds like a Frank Welker
Yeah, it
boy.
did. Yeah,
Yeah,
Howard
I remember.
Mandel's Gizmo. So the guy who does America's Got Talent now.
Yeah, voice
Gizmo.
Gizmo.
Yeah.
But then Frank Welker does Spike. And I remember showing Georgia a video recently of him doing like various background like lion noises in The Lion King, and she's like,
Yes.
"That's not real." I'm
Into
like,
like a
"Yeah,
trash
it is."
can. Like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He's a boo. He's the Cave of Wonders. He's Disney's most used boy. He's great.
Okay, though. Michael, you're number 10.
So mine is like gins, but specifically, I was thinking of the film Wishmaster.
Yes.
Um, that kind of entity that kind of comes in, it's offering you something you want and then twists it horrifically into so. And the only way you can beat it is by beating it at its game because it is this unkillable, supernatural, entity. And it's been reused in loads. And it comes from that obviously mythology, doesn't it? And the idea of like genies and jinns and stuff. Um, and I think there's more modern adaptations where they're not evil, like obviously Aladdin being the big example, but like 3,000 Years of Longing with Idris Elba and I've
Tilda
forgotten
Is
Swinton.
it Tilda Swinton? Yeah.
Tilda Swinton, yeah, of course. And yeah, I'd like them when they are the kind of tricksters, and they come in initially and they're like offering you a hand and they're trying to help them with some situation, and then they're just slowly twisting every little wish into this like horrific kind of thing. And the Wishmaster films, I definitely watched them way younger than I should have watched them. But they were kind of like, I don't know, they were like a defining horror movie for me, or like one of the defining horror movies for me.
Because
Have you
I,
seen any Chris and Jack sketches on YouTube, Michael?
I don't know, maybe. I've probably seen them in
It's
YouTube Shorts. I don't like to
yeah,
watch.
like he's so they pop up a lot on YouTube Shorts, and they have a 7.5 minute. Like as soon as you said it, it made me think of it. There's a 7.5 minute one where um there is a genie in there, and he's not evil, but he's very upfront about the fact that you have got to be specific in your wish. So it's stuff like, I wish for $1 million, done. You now own 1 million Zimbabwean dollars, equivalent to
Oh, is it
the.
the guy who says like, "What if can I go through what the consequences would be?"
Yeah, that exact
Yes,
one.
I've
So,
seen
like,
that
if he
video. It's
said,
so good.
"Can I figure out what the consequences of my wish will be without you wishing for it?" And he's
Yes.
like, "Yeah, I see no problem with that." And he manages to finally get it down to a perfect monetary wish. He like absolutely nails every single possible loophole. And the genie's like, "No, no, no, I think you've got it. Well done. Yeah, that's brilliant. Great. I wish for that." And he points at the piece of paper, and the genie's like, "Done. You now own this piece of paper."
semantics all round. Um, Holly, you're number 10.
Hey, I'm really struggling because I usually have it on my phone and I usually write number one at the top and have
Right.
to keep reminding myself I have to read from the bottom up. I've written it the right way round this time, but my brain's still going, remember to read it from the bottom up. So I keep wanting to say my number one first. I'm gonna mess up. I
So if
know
you
it's gonna
spoil
happen.
something, we're just gonna play like
Yeah.
that's the right thing.
If you put like a weirdly brilliant monster at
Yeah.
number seven, like
Exactly. Right, number 10. Number 10. Awesome. Sully from Monsters Inc. So I think Sully is quite a clever design. I never thought he was scary, but he has all the elements of a children's story monster. So big, hairy, horns, loud, teeth, but all of them are like subverted. So big becomes cuddly, and hairy becomes like fluffy,
fluffy.
and
Yeah.
loud becomes fun.
Mm,
And I think they just did a really, really good job with his design. I think all of the monsters in the film are great. Mike is great. The snake woman whose name I don't know, she's great.
Delia.
Celia.
Um, I don't love the film too much, and I think again it was just I just aged out of enjoying children's films when I saw it. So I was like, oh, I'm too old for this, and never really went back to give it a second chance. But yeah, I think his design is clever, and he is cuddly, and
Mm,
would definitely watch with my children.
I debated putting just. I think I was just gonna go for like a generic Monsters Inc. vote.
mm.
Mhm.
Because like even like Mike, but then Randall as well. Like Randall's a really
Randall's great, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
this idea of a monster, like he's there to scare kids and he can blend in. That's
yeah.
horrifying.
Because
Hmm.
I didn't do it with this list. I've done it with my fight list. In that, definitely one, possibly two, come from comedy films,
Hmm.
and that was something that I'd not considered about. So in this, I suppose the alternative for this one would be monsters who aren't necessarily monstrous, but are
Yeah.
Hmm.
quite cute and quite cuddly. And yeah,
Or
I
just
think
going about a job. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
No
yeah,
one could argue that he's not a monster,
he
right?
is a monster, 100%.
Definitely a
Yeah.
monster, and I think he does well. Randall is a great shout as well because they're doing three things there. Like he's scary in world to the children, but he can't be scary to the little children who are watching the film.
Hmm.
But he also can't be lovely like Sully because he's the bad guy.
Yeah.
mm,
So that's a tough design, and I think they nailed it.
Yeah. My number 10, I suppose it's a bit niche if you've not seen the film, is the monster Clover from Cloverfield.
yeah.
Where I remember Cloverfield coming out and literally the only thing I saw in the cinema was the teaser poster with the head ripped off of the Statue of Liberty. And that was it. There was no name of the film, there was nothing. It was like a release date at the bottom. Um, Everyone sort of speculating about what it was going to be, what it was about. The trailer, when the trailer came out, didn't have anything to do with the monster in it. It was just all the found footage stuff, and something was happening in New York. In New York. And I remember like someone in my film studies class when I was doing A level had gone to see it and took pictures of the screen whenever the monster appeared, and then was showing everybody these pictures that he took of the monster. So it was just adding more to this sort of speculation about it. But I had a bit of a read over it over the weekend, and the idea ultimately was that this was only going to be an offspring of a bigger creature, which they allude to in the Cloverfield paradox. But because that was really badly received, they never ended up following through and doing more films about it. But basically, if you've not seen Cloverfield, it's a large scale, essentially mutated alien.
Well, it's a
Um,
found footage kaiju film, isn't it?
well, essentially, yeah, and
Mm.
it's typically on all fours, just rampaging through New York, as most things tend to be.
Always New
And
York, isn't it?
it's always New York. I'd
It's like they
move, to
know
be
that that
honest.
will be really marketable, these
Yeah,
kaiju.
it's like, why do people still live on Albert Square in Coronation Street at Christmas?
Mm.
Just move.
Like even
Things can
Godzilla ends
happen.
up there. Like he swims through the
Yeah,
Panama Canal or down past Argentina or up
the
over the
Chitauri
Arctic
come
Circle.
through there for the portal for Avengers. It's
Yeah.
just nah, don't bother. Um, And so every now and again, Clover drops these sort of parasitic insects that then make for a really terrific sequence in the New York subway system where Lizzie Kaplan, poor Lizzie Kaplan, gets absolutely massacred by this parasitic alien that falls off Cloverfield's back, or Clover's back. And it was just one of them where I wanted to throw it in because I think, to be fair, it's one of the first ones where I'd gone probably with a bit more of a film academia mind of going into a monster movie rather than some of the other ones on my list where it was like I watched this as a kid and oh my God, look at that thing. So it was interesting to try and see what they were going to do differently this time with the whole found footage concept as well. So
Is
my
it
number
the
10,
film with John
True that
Goodman and
monster.
everyone in the like bunker part of the
yeah.
Cloverfield?
So they did
Oh,
the
that's the
Cloverfield
best
one.
one.
That
That
is
one's
really
so
good.
good, and then at the end, it's like, oh, it's Cloverfield.
Yeah, it's really good, and obviously they give it away in the title as well, saying 10 Cloverfield Lane and stuff. But generally, if you didn't have that as an ending, it could just be a completely different film. Like you wouldn't
It
know
It's
would
it.
still
such a
be
shame.
excellent.
Like that felt really tacked onto the IP of like people aren't going to want to watch. Not that many people are going to go and watch a film that is this brilliantly formed, tense thriller with three amazingly well written characters. But if we tack on a known IP,
Yeah,
even if we kind of bolt it on and don't make it make an awful lot of sense, more people are going to go and see it.
yeah. But
But it was
again,
that is brilliant for like there's so many little things in there which are just awesome.
yeah,
Just
everyone was raving about it, and then we're just surprised that literally the last thing you see is I think she's driving towards the city, and there's a lightning strike, and you see the outline of Clover, and then that's
mm,
it. And you're like, oh well, that's as far as we've got then.
yeah.
Yeah, right. Number nines. Michael, you're number nine.
So mine is one that I went back and forth on, but I like it. It's the entity from It Follows. don't know if anyone's seen
Yes.
It Follows. And I don't like the kind of STD aspect of it where like you can pass it on by sleep. I don't like that. But I like the idea of this, like it's like the you know that thing that you can become immortal, but there's this snail that moves towards you, and if it ever touches you, you die, kind of thing. And this idea that well, I could easily outrun this thing, but it never stops. So eventually, it always gets
Mm,
to you, and it can be anyone. So if you're in a crowd, every person walking towards you would be terrifying. And it's that idea of knowing that it's not everyone, but it could be anyone. And there's
mm,
some really good sequences in the film, which again is not a great film, but the concept is good. Where they're like in a crowd, someone's like innocuously in the background walking towards them, and you, the viewer, almost become aware of it before them. And it's such a good concept that I wish was used a little bit better.
Mm.
I'd like to see a more grown up, less teen horror version of that concept because I do think there's a lot of genuine horror from that kind of concept. You know,
mm.
that if this thing touches you, you're just dead. And it's kind of, I don't, has anyone seen, well, I'm assuming we've seen Rick and Morty, where the guy touches him and dies, and everyone's like, what has happened? And it's like the idea that someone could just touch you and kill you is terrifying,
Yeah.
Mm.
more so than like all the gory, you know, like Jason Voorhees and things like that. They're scary, but it's not like there's literally no way to stop this thing except run away, and
Yeah.
Mm.
eventually it's going to catch you.
I
No,
love that it
it
kind of
is.
plays on like human biology as well, in that that is our superpower. That is why we made it as top dog, is because we would just run down our prey. Like
Yeah.
not in a sprint, obviously, but we would just keep walking after them. And these antelope with massive antlers who could fight off mammoth were like, Jesus Christ, they're still coming. And eventually they'd be like, I'm done, I'm spent, I cannot keep moving. And these weird hairless apes are still walking after me. It's this weird parallel
And
with
now they've got
our suit.
STDs.
Yeah,
Keep
if he
running,
touches me, I'll die.
run away. Um, Holly, your number nine.
Uh, read from the top, read from the top. The alien from Signs.
Yes.
Okay,
So
yeah.
I I really struggled making the list because I think an awful lot of monsters in films lose their power once the reveal has happened. And that's definitely the case for the alien in Signs. I think the last scenes where the alien is in the house and they're hitting the glasses of water and stuff, I don't find that scary at all. I don't find the alien as scary or creepy at that point. But I think the reveal is
Oh
one
God.
of the best monster reveals, if not the best,
Mm.
I think, that I've ever seen. And again, that's in a very mediocre film, but just like a wonderful scene in a mediocre film. So the alien, we don't know what's happening. They're watching the news. These ships have been sighted, but they can't know exactly, what it is that's on Earth. And we see a home video of a children's birthday party in a garden and everyone running inside and screaming and the bushes shaking, but we don't know what's there. And they pan away to like an alleyway at the side of the garden, and you know, because there's a gap at the end of this alleyway between the bushes and the road, and you know you're going to see the alien walk past, and it's just building and building this creepy tension. And then suddenly it walks, and everyone in the cinema screamed or gasped, or there was just like an audible from everyone, even though it was signposted that that's
Hey.
exactly what was going to happen. And the design's not revolutionary. It's humanoid. It's just got strangely proportioned limbs. Um, but just that reveal of the monster is the most effective one that
Yeah.
I've ever
Yeah.
seen. And I think that's the key for monster movies. How do you reveal your monster? Because that's always going to be the scariest moment.
Shyamalan fell off so hard.
So hard.
Like his
He's
first
working
two
his way
films are
back a little bit,
genuine.
though.
Eh?
He's working his way back a little bit.
A little bit, but like,
I enjoyed Trap and I enjoyed Knock at the Cabin.
but like it's
Um,
nowhere near the heights of Sixth Sense and
no,
Unbreakable.
it's not.
And like Signs did really well at the time, but then people started thinking about it and was like, wait, what? Like this,
The thing
like
with Sixth Sense,
why
like
are these aliens whose main weakness is water invading a planet where 70% of the surface of it is covered in water?
stop
That
bringing
challenge.
logic into these arguments. No one's
I
bothered, man.
think I think we
Bam.
only I think we only like dunk on him because he got so big from the one film.
This is
Like
it.
Yeah,
a ton of artists in every genre go through this, that their first album's amazing, and then the second album they've got nothing because they put everything into the first album. I think we don't talk about that too much with directors because there aren't too many directors whose first film goes whoom.
yeah.
But I think, lots and lots of authors have one book that people know. Lots and lots of songwriters have one hit.
One
And
version.
Shyamalan's just really unlucky that he was massive, and then all the rest of his stuff is meh, meh, meh.
Remember one thing that helped in that reveal as well was just how low quality, like because it was a home video.
Yeah, yeah.
And you
Home
could like
video
you
is.
still couldn't quite see the details of it, so it really
Mhm.
helped sell that older CGI. And
And the
I
fact that children were screaming and it
screaming
felt
that death
realistic.
empire, yeah.
Yeah.
But I also remember, I just remembered as you were describing it, because obviously the context is that Joaquin Phoenix's character is watching this unfold on the news, and like he's screaming at the kids to move, and then he takes a second and remembers, oh, these kids are from Mexico, so they're Spanish. I'm going to tell them to move in Spanish. Like, because that's the reason they're not moving.
Never
Joaquin.
mind the fact that it's a bloody videotape, man.
Yeah, it's a
Aye.
video recording where you've just been told the footage you're about to see may be disturbing. Like, no, just scream at the TV in Spanish, Joaquin.
Um,
Oh, bless him.
well, my number nine, it's quite similarly. I think builds up to a reveal, and then when the reveal happens, not necessarily terrifying, but more of a sort of majestic looking thing, but is ultimately quite terrifying. Most recent one on my list, I think, apart from one that pops up later, Jean Jacket from Nope, from Jordan Peele's Nope. So the idea, if you've not seen Jean Jacket, or you've not seen Nope, I should say, is there's a family who run a sort of horse sanctuary and they do stunt work for films and things like that. And all of a sudden, they begin to realize that something is over the top of them in the sky because they keep having power outages, and horses go missing and all this kind of stuff goes on. And basically, what it is Jean Jacket is some form of alien that has the power to mutate or shapeshift and copy different, um, what's the word? It copies its form from things that it sees and in an attempt to try and camouflage. And the naivety of the young alien is that for the most part, it's copied the top of someone's cowboy hat. So it looks like a cowboy hat essentially. But then what it does is it's huge. Like, and you get those moments where you think you're going to see it, and Daniel Kaluuya's character is just looking up into the sky for ages, and he's looking at clouds. And then there's even a point where Michael Wincott, the fantastic Michael Wincott, comes into it, and he says that cloud has not moved. That is the one thing, that cloud has not moved. So then you're thinking, right, is it trying to form itself into a cloud then, and it's not moving because it's a cloud now. And you get these little, very, very quick sort of glimpses of it moving behind a cloud, of it trying to just sort of traverse the sky really, really quickly to try and get around everybody. There are scenes where you see it basically guzzling up people and eating people,
That
and you
is
see
horrifying. That
inside its
scene.
windpipe and and all that, and it's awful. But then the sort of the final form it begins to take when it's chasing Daniel Kaluuya's character, and the sort of ultimately trying to defeat it towards the end is quite majestic and quite sort of mystifying. But again, it's one of these things where I kept thinking about it, and I think at first it might have been in my honorable mentions, but I was thinking about, like, is it actually terrifying? And it's like, well, yeah, realistically, something that big is over the top of your house, and you look up to the sky and you see it. Yeah, it is terrifying. So I had to put it in there because Nope is one of my favourite of the Jordan Peele films. I know he's only done three, but
Mm.
I rate it quite high. I rate it higher than Get Out. For me, Us is still the one. Well, this is the
Wow.
conversation I have it with my
Yeah.
students all the time because we've done. I taught Get Out to A-level kids for the first time this year, and we did all three films. And we have the conversation all the time about, which one do you think is the best one? And for me, I don't know what it is about it, It's just I think Us is the best, and then I would put
Mm.
Nope, and then I'd put Get Out. None of them are bad. None of them are bad at all.
Yeah, I think that yeah, they're all really good. Nope is definitely his funniest. It felt like Jordan Peele was missing Keegan the most in that film because it is
Nope.
easily the funniest of the three.
Nope stands out to me obviously because of all the stuff, but it has my one of my favorite pieces of music from the last however many years in it, where Jean Jacket starts chasing down Daniel Kaluuya's character
Mm.
on horseback, and he's wearing his sort of Scorpion King hoodie, and that sort of bit of music is so like it's almost Raiders of the Lost Ark, but then linked in with a little bit of horror sort of undertone to it. It's fantastic. Right, Oliver, number nine.
Um, I've, Based on comments made, I feel like this is going to raise an eyebrow, Michael. So I'm very sorry, but I have put the Balrog at number nine.
Okay.
And I'm now curious. I'm now curious as to why you didn't include it, because nothing I can say I think is as interesting as why you didn't include it in your actual top
I
10.
think it's from the lore in that it and Gandalf are the same creature.
Mm,
So they're both essentially angels. It's just like I mean, I guess it's like the literal like demons in. I'm gonna say I was almost gonna say reality then, but in like actual like kind of Catholic faith is demons come from fallen angel, like Satan's a fallen angel
yeah,
and the demons and stuff, and like Pan, not Pan's Labyrinth. Um, I can't remember the famous poem about
Dante's
Satan.
Inferno.
Dante's Inferno. That's the one.
I was gonna say the Jabberwocky.
Pan's
No, in fact,
Sorry,
not
that
that.
didn't come to me.
I was thinking Paradise Lost.
Yeah.
Paradise Lost in the fact that, like, although the angels had fallen, they were now demons, they were in hell, they were still beautiful.
Mm,
But they were now demons because they'd fallen and they were in hell. Very difficult book to read, Paradise Lost, but it's worth it.
yes.
Um, and it's kind of like with the Balrog is still, and also like it gets beaten by Gandalf. Like when they actually fight, Gandalf beats it relatively easily. Like I
Mm.
mean, they fight all, and Gandalf's holding back for the whole fight. Like, and I guess you
Why
only
is
know that.
Gandalf doing Goku power scaling? Just go for
Well,
it, man.
it's because, and again, this you have to know the lore of it. But
Mm,
Gandalf's been told never to fight power with power, and to always kind of hold back. And he just kind of uses just enough power to beat the Balrog. Hence why he dies. And he's
mm.
then that he dies, and like the god of that universe is like, actually, you're not done yet. You've got to go back. Your shift's not over.
Yeah,
Essentially, you've got to go back in.
here's some XP. Spend it on some upgrades.
But yeah, and I think like the fact that like technically it's not a monster, it's
Mm.
a fallen angel, and I guess then it becomes that like, well, is it not now monstrous? And I guess it
Yeah.
is, and it definitely looks like a monster, and
I
that's
think it's one of like
where it's
I know
appealing.
that people have kind of criticized the look of it in the films at the very least, like because I've seen some like fan art of what it should kind of more closely resemble online. But I think Peter Jackson did a very good job of, well, it's a demon made of fire, and Tolkien was very big on his Catholic iconography. So I'm just going to make this look like a devil. I'm going to give him horns. I'm going to give him cloven hooves. I'm going to give him like monstrous bat wings. And I think for me as well, because I'm not going to pretend to be anywhere near you on, lore of Lord of the Rings. I've not even tried to access the Silmarillion at any point, nor shall I. I shall leave that to you. But in the context of the film, you do have this hulking beast whose job seems to be just to sow destruction. And that does seem fairly like Godzilla wouldn't be out of place doing something like that. And I know it's a bit more complicated than that. He is a child of evil. I get that he's meant to be a demon, but like it's for the design, for the visuals, like the fact that to this day it still holds up. It is the best that like when he roars and you can see the heat in its breath and things like that. Just I couldn't not include like I needed to include something from Lord of the Rings because the designs of everything that you could call monstrous in that, the Harvey Weinstein orc is up
But
for a
just saying something
shout.
from Lord of the Rings has just made me think of Shelob, and Shelob should have been included, and Shelob's not in my
Yeah,
list.
Georgia did. Georgia's an arachnophobe as well. And I did consider Shelob. I've always said Shelob, but I'm going to go with your pronunciation because, again, I will defer.
I don't
But
pronounce anything correctly, so it's probably
but again, maybe I got split because I know it's not necessarily lore accurate, but I do remember in Shadow of War where Sheila would occasionally take the form of a sexy demon lady. And it's like, oh, and like I know that Shelob is more than just like she has a personality and she has a will and stuff like that. I was more aware of that than with the Balrogs, even though I knew the whole point of the Balrogs is that they are kind of on par with the wizards, who are basically angels. Like I knew that much, but like I've seen a bit more of that in Shelob's case because I've happened upon that. But I do agree, Shelob is a great like. I love as well. Everyone says because hasn't Tolkien denied having arachnophobia, didn't he? I'm
Oh, I
pretty
don't know.
sure. I'm pretty sure
Probably.
he's denied having arachnophobia, despite being the sole reason that every fantasy or dark fantasy setting these days has giant spiders as an enemy type. Because he hated spiders so much that he put one as like this disgusting big bad in his children's book and the subsequent very adult books because he clearly had arachnophobia. It's so obvious.
I'm not sure if one of the enemies in Dark Souls is based on Shelob.
There's a
If
lot of
there's like a
spiders in
half woman,
Souls.
half spider enemy that you
Yeah,
fight in Dark Souls.
yeah,
I'm not sure if that's kind of based on that, yeah. Maybe he was scared of spiders and his wife, and the combination of
yes.
the two absolutely horrified him.
There's a great film. Is it Enemy? It's a great
Yes.
film about how spiders are women,
Yeah.
and the main character is when he squashes spiders, it's him like
Yeah.
squashing the soul of his girlfriend.
A quote unquote early Denis Villeneuve film.
There you go.
I don't think Georgia would appreciate being called a spider in that context.
Well, you see one get squished. You see a huge one though as well. So yeah. Right. Where are we? Holly, then you're number 8, please.
Hey, it's another comedic one. I'm sorry if I'm ruining
I'm
the
enjoying it.
the
These are the
era of
ones I
it
really
being
didn't think of.
scary monsters only. Well, actually, no, I take it back. This monster's terrifying. The Beast of Caer Banog from the Holy Grail, the
Oh,
Ragnarok.
okay.
Oh,
I've got my Holy Grail t-shirt on.
Oh my God. Oh
Yay!
my God.
The
This is the rabbit, right?
rabbit!
Yeah.
Right, okay.
no, mysticism
Terrifying!
Sorry.
is legitimately terrifying.
Just
Like
Like he
the way he
just
just ripped off a
flies
knight's head.
meters and
He
meters
does
and
fly
meters
meters and meters and,
to
absolutely
Slice
rip
your head
shoot
people's
clean off.
hours.
throats out.
Oh my God.
And then he just goes hopping away.
Yeah.
Genuinely didn't think about it.
I'm sure for a time they actually put that. I don't know if people have ever played Minecraft in this, but there's little rabbits in Minecraft, and they give them like a 1% chance to be a white, red-eyed rabbit that would kill you. Like one. But like loads of kids were like, this is unfair, we don't like this. So they got rid of it.
Let us educate your
Fair
children
enough.
on the real nature of rabbits.
Yeah. Rabbits are psychopaths. I don't trust any of them.
Absolute
Well, I
psychopaths.
mean, so far, it's probably got a bigger kill count than, some of mine. Definitely some of Ollie's. Like Gremlins, it's probably got a bigger
Yeah.
kill count than the Gremlins.
Gremlins killed what, 2 people in the film, definitively.
I
I
think the
mean,
problem with
that,
Gremlins, they're very
uh,
puntable, aren't they?
They are,
as,
Yeah, I
as
yes.
is
mean,
a rabbit, I would argue.
not that one because it's
They're
too
not
fast.
puntable, Michael. They're very microwavable.
Oh, there you go. Uh, well,
But yeah, it's all about the reveal,
yes.
and the reveal for the Beast of Caer Banog is great because you have all of that build up and then a
Mhm.
comedic kind of whack
I like
whack.
the
It's the
underestimating it as
rabbit.
well, and then kind of going in.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then the way they run away and like, oh
Yeah.
my God.
Don't they require the whole? Is that where they require the
The
holy
holy
hand
hand grenade.
grenade?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
Oh,
love
that's
the reading out of the instructions for the holy hand grenade specifically.
I've got to go back and watch Holy Grail. Like
It's so good.
it is just my humor in
Yeah.
one film. Like every single scene is hilarious.
Yeah.
It is good.
Right.
That's a
My
great
number 8.
shout, huh?
Oh, my number 8, and I feel like this is the early klaxon of he's put this too low, he's put this too low, he's put this too low. Originally found in 1933, King Kong. Whether
I
he's
will
on
say
your
I've gone
list.
for no classic monsters like that because I don't have that
You don't have
affinity to.
any classic ones like that?
King
Okay.
Kong, Godzilla aren't in it. I'm mine at all.
Wow.
See, I
Okay.
don't consider King Kong a monster. I
He's
think
I
yeah,
mean,
he falls in love, Adam.
he's
I
He's not
mean,
a
monsters.
monster.
he is just a big monkey. I know he's an
He's
ape
just a
before you
cuddly
come at me,
boy.
right? But like, ultimately, I was like, if you're talking movie monsters, the two that I think should be on your list are King Kong and Godzilla. And
I do think the Empire State Building image, if you want
yeah,
the with the woman, it is iconic,
you
and
know,
it is
Yeah.
like, yeah,
because like obviously that's the iconic image. Like I was formative enough of a time in 2005 to go and watch Peter Jackson's King Kong. Really enjoyed that.
I love
Um,
Peter Jackson's King Kong.
I think
It's
it's really
getting
good.
slated these days. I don't
But I
understand
think
it.
similar to the Shyamalan conversation, he's coming off the hubris of Lord of the Rings, and
Mm.
realistically, people were probably expecting like, oh, this is going to be fantastic, absolutely amazing, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I would
Mm.
say like there are things
Really
that
good.
I think there's the issue with the story of the fact that King Kong is going to fall in love with a woman, but then I
But that's
think
in the original anyway.
no, no,
Like,
that's the issue with the story, then, isn't it? That's not the issue with
mm.
Peter Jackson's take on it. But I quite like Skull Island. I think for the cast that they pulled together for Skull Island as well, like Samuel L. Jackson, Brie
Weirdly
Larson, Tom
stacked, isn't
Hiddleston.
it?
Yeah. But then I'll go as far as say I really enjoy Godzilla versus Kong. And for the people who went to it and were really sniffy and were like, "Oh, there was no character development in it," I'm sorry, I've not paid
Who's
my
going
money.
to that one in character
Exactly,
development?
I'm not paying my money to go and see character development in a film where I want to see a big monkey slap around a big lizard,
The
right?
we
criticism.
need to see Godzilla become introspective and realize he's throwing his life away and going back to university, maybe at Monsters
Yeah.
University.
Oh, there you go.
There we go.
Monster, he just sticks
Mm.
out the top of the lecture hall.
Yeah. With his atomic breath.
It's the crossover we've all been asking
It
for.
is the
Yeah.
crossover that I was asking for. But yeah, I felt like I needed to get Kong on there. I think at one point he was much higher just by proxy of him being King Kong.
Mm.
But if there are any crossover listeners, anyone who listens to the wrestling podcast that I do as well will know that I absolutely despise it when we do a list and Ty puts on a list somebody and just goes, "Oh, because it's them in it." And I'm like, that's not the no. You
Yeah.
can't just say no. We're here on sort of
Disgusting.
status. No, not at all. So I thought my number eight is King Kong. I was expecting a little bit of fight back on some people saying that that's too low, but surprisingly not.
It's
Uh,
the other way. We're like,
the
now
other
we've got
way,
the
you're like,
setting.
I've not even got him on my list. Who's that guy? Not considered
Put on my
him.
list.
You
Yeah.
know. We'll move on then. Right. Oliver,
We think he's too cuddly, Adam. He's not a monster. He's just a big animal and he needs a hug.
Holly's got Sully at number 10.
I disagreed with
A
that too. I
cuddly
think he's too
argument
cuddly.
can't stand if you're saying,
No, I guess I don't mind Sully because Sully is a monster. Like
What's wrong with
initially,
King Kong?
he's a monster who grows into a cuddly dude because initially he's going around scaring people. But King Kong just wants to be left alone, man.
Yeah.
Well, I
He
mean,
just wants to
the
chill
bigger
on his
argument we're about to
island,
have,
eat some
depending on
massive
where he's put it,
bananas.
is that
I
Ollie's still got a TV monster in his list, so we need to,
Yeah.
so we can have that later.
I do.
Yeah.
Sully is always a cuddly dude. He was just
Mhm.
doing his job, then going home and being a cuddly dude. I
Yeah.
disagree that he became.
Mike is the monster. I don't know why he's not the one going out scaring people. He's terrifying,
With his
objectively.
massive one
Again,
eye.
he's puntable, isn't it? That's the problem.
Yeah.
Can't have a puntable monster.
Oh, Michael's new.
I feel like I need to
The
just go
monsters
down,
on the list are puntable.
I just
Yeah.
need to go down my list and caveat any that I think are
Ewoks.
puntable. My next one can't be puntable because they're in far too located. I can't even speak. Far too of a closed location to be punted because they just bounce
Yeah.
back off the walls at you. Right, Oliver then, number eight.
Another disagreement with Michael. I do hear the shout with werewolves, and I do agree. Like it's difficult to pick on them because they are just usually some bloke or some lady who has been turned. But literally for the transformation scene, I wanted to get American Werewolf in London in there somewhere because that transformation scene. And I'm kind of crossing over with Holly here because I've got my comedy, except the werewolf isn't remotely funny in this. It's really, really terrifying. To this day, I don't think that transformation scene has been topped. There's some stuff that's come close. Like The Howling was around at a similar time, and that was pretty good. I love some of the transformation stuff in Underworld, like the original one.
Mm.
Although you're not going to include them because the whole point there is that the vampires and the werewolves are these very complicated personalities. But just that scene of Alex transforming in like harsh light and the pain it's causing him, the fact that he's in obvious agony throughout, and then the rampage you see him going on in London afterwards. Um, and then the fact that, when he transforms later on in the film, he doesn't actually end up killing anybody once he's out of the seedy theatre. People just die in like crashes and stuff like that because John Landis, terrible person that he is, wanted to make a commentary about more people dying in car crashes than whatever. But the design's really good. This was either, I can't remember if, I think this might have been Rob Bottin, this one.
I don't
For
know.
the werewolf, I'm going to quickly look it up, but I'm
Well,
pretty sure it
while
was one.
while you're looking it up, I was just going to mention that it is an iconic one, mainly because of so many directors nowadays. Where, like, if you've listened to Brett Goldstein's movies to be buried with, so many
Mm,
people on that when they get asked the question, "What is the film that scared you the most?" They'll always
yeah.
come back to this because it's typically that one where, "Oh, my brother decided to take me when I was 12 because you can do that in America, and nobody
Mm.
thought it'd be frightening, and it terrified the life out of me."
Well, it was a John Landis film. It's a comedy, and it is a comedy. Like when you watch it, it is a funny film.
Apart from that horrific scene.
Apart from those bits where it's suddenly one of the scariest films ever. It was
I
Rick Baker. It was
I
Rick Baker who did the effects.
oh okay.
And
I
Rick
don't
Baker's
think
one of
I've
the, like I've seen him be interviewed in it because there's the scene where his friend Jack
mm,
is he done something to annoy him.
yeah.
And there's the scene where they get attacked when they're on the moors in England. And Rick Baker recalls like having the animatronic dog head available and just absolutely beating on the axe to playing Jack as he's like fighting for his life as David's running away because this guy had annoyed him slightly. So he just like bullied him with the prosthetic.
I don't have any werewolves on the list. But I will say that I remember being absolutely terrified by them when I was growing up. Which started out as being one of my favorite films of all time, Never Ending Story, but the wolf at the end absolutely frightened the life out of me. Um, I remember seeing not a trailer for this, but a trailer for An American Werewolf in Paris, where that frightened the life out of me. And the other one was there was a random episode of Red Dwarf, which again I loved as a kid, but it had a werewolf in it. And yeah, that terrified me. But if we're shouting out other ones since, Ginger Snaps is one to mention as a werewolf film. If you've not seen Ginger Snaps, I highly, highly recommend it. It's basically a take on the werewolf genre, but it's the first time really where you see a female transform into a werewolf. And it's
Dog
fantastic.
Soldiers too.
Dog Soldiers,
Absolute
there you
bloody
go, Dog
gods.
Soldiers.
What a film.
And Harry
Um,
Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Can't forget that one.
oh yeah, there you go. There
Most
you go.
Yeah, I
famous
do like the
werewolf film.
Lupin one. I used to hate how kind of sickly he looked, but then there's
It's a very
the whether
spindly werewolf, isn't it? Yeah.
yeah, it's whether you want to attribute this to JK or not, because she has this nasty habit of revising things that she said after the fact to be like, oh yeah, I meant that the whole time. But there is that idea that Lupin is meant to be a bit of a HIV analogy in that it's so the werewolfism is something that he's on top of, but he still faces prejudice. But like he's been infected by this against his will, but he faces prejudice for it
I
in the
don't
way
buy
that
that at
people who
all.
do you not?
She's changed her mind on that.
I don't think she's capable of that deep level of thought, I'll
No.
be honest.
I don't think she is. It's one of those things though. I'm
She
happy
was writing the
for.
third book and she went, what monsters have I not got in? Oh, whoa, werewolves. Right, there you go, tick.
But
And
I'm
now she's gone,
happy.
oh,
I'm
actually,
happy for
HIV.
people who that has impacted to be able to read that into it, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, I get
yeah.
that.
Like
I mean,
if
right,
they see that kind of comfort in it, then I'm like, oh, I'm really glad. And it's another way of thinking of it. It's like, yeah, I
to
like
say,
that.
right, so to say this then, right, Kermode and Mayo say this all the time, right? You bring from a film, you take from a film what you bring to it, right? In
Mm.
the same way that, like, I purposely bought I can't even do it, mirrored, that Reed Richards Funko Pop, I bought that on yesterday, right? Purely because of the new Fantastic Four film, that guy spoke to me in ways that no other MCU character has spoken to me. He's just a dad trying to do his best, right? Whereas
Mhm.
other people are going to go to that and not get that from it. So yeah, fair enough. If you go to Azkaban and you get that from Lupin's character, more power to you, right? Clearly, that was the catharsis that you needed.
Yeah.
I argue the toss on whether or not she actually thought that.
Oh yeah, I'm happy to concede that I don't think JK meant that. Like,
It requires empathy, doesn't it? And I don't think
yeah,
she
it
has it.
does. It
Mm.
requires a soul, which
I I think that's just a thing that people bring to werewolves now. Like in
yeah,
the same
Yes.
Yeah.
way that people bring the same narrative to vampires, actually.
Mm,
The idea of like a blood-borne disease.
yeah. There have been a
yeah.
couple of films that
Uh,
have. I remember there's a like I can't remember what it's called, but there's a found footage one where there's a couple of guys backpacking through Europe, and one of them gets turned into a vampire, and it is formatted as he is very very ill. Like he's really
Yeah.
desperately ill until he's not because he takes the blood that he needs.
Well, vampire wise, shout out to Andrew Bell and his film Bleeding that came out last year. It's been released on the streaming this year, where they do a really interesting spin on it, where actually it's blood, but the sort of street level version of it is that it's a drug that's packaged like cocaine, and it's a derivative of
Oh,
blood called dust. And people that get addicted off dust become vampire-like, but they don't actually turn until they have blood and
right.
then begin to seek out blood because of the level of the addiction, which I thought was really, really interesting. So number eight's, and I feel like I'm hanging on to a point that Ollie's made purely as a segue for my next one, but we'll get to Michael's eight first. So Michael, what's your number eight?
So I went with the Pale Man from Pan's Labyrinth.
Yes.
Um, I
Yes.
mean, I'll be honest, just the design alone would get it
Yeah.
into my top 10. The eyes in the hands and the just creepy look of it. It's very otherworldly and but yet still a little bit humanoid. Like it's got that uncanny valley aspect to it as well.
Hmm.
And also he just is evil. He just is a purely bad, monstrous thing. You know, he wants to eat the fairies, and that scene of him eating the fairy. He's trying to kill this child who's going through these challenges. Um, yeah, and he just is. And I think I put so Guillermo del Toro said that he's a representational of the institutional feeding on the helpless. And I do kind of get that from him. He is very much like, because he's got all the food, hasn't he, and all this fresh food, but no one else is allowed to touch it. I'm not even sure if this guy eats food or not. But it's his, and you're not allowed near it.
Just sits there not looking at it because he's blind until someone touches it.
He's just,
It's
it's
like,
just very,
whoa,
very
hang on a
creepy.
minute. My
It was
food.
like,
Yeah, I mean, it's even that's he's like with the hands and the eyes and
Yeah,
no.
Shout
was
out
Uh,
to
that one
Geoff
of John
Jones.
Jones' five roles in that film?
yeah.
yeah.
What a guy. What a guy.
What a guy.
We were talking in the car on Friday about Hellboy and
Mm,
how actually gutted that Del Toro didn't get to do his third Hellboy film.
mm.
Speaking of Doug Jones, but yeah, right.
Yeah, I love those Hellboy films. So good.
Yeah.
No, they are
Mm,
really good, really good.
yeah.
My hanging on now by a very tiny thread to introduce number sevens. Oliver, you mentioned Neil Marshall, werewolves, things like that. These are the
Mm.
things that I can't punt around because they come back at me in a cave. The crawlers from the Descent, like my number seven,
Yeah.
Oh,
absolutely terrifying little things.
Mm.
oh,
Right?
I don't like him,
They should be
Adam.
called skin crawlers, right?
Like,
That scene where the women are walking around in the cave and they sort of turn the camera towards her and it's just stood behind her, like lifeless, just waiting to
mm,
attack. And then it does. Absolutely terrifying. The second film is naff, but
God,
these are still equally as terrifying
it just
as they
throws
are in
out
that one.
all the really bleak but bittersweet message of that first film.
Yeah, it does. It does. But I think just as a sort of standalone, as a sort of horrific kind of, because around about the time, so you're talking early to mid noughties at this point, there were a lot of films coming out where they were trying to replicate some sort of new monster, some sort of new thing that they could get off the ground. And the Crawlers did it in The Descent. Like other ones were like things like Creep, which was the one about the monsters on the underground.
Yeah.
Um, like I will forever throw up, and it's slightly later than what I'm referring to, but I will forever sort of throw up Midnight Meat Train, where Vinnie Jones is just walking around with a briefcase and a hammer, absolutely battering people, and then you find out that he's doing it to feed his sort of like reptilian gods that are underneath the subway system in New York City. But again, there was an awful lot of let's try and make this thing happen. Let's try and make this
I never
creature happen.
thought Vinnie Jones would be in a cosmic horror.
Oh, it's absolutely like he's mute all the way through it. You know, one of his best acting performances.
Because he doesn't
But
speak.
yeah, but it's that idea of they're trying to throw anything at the wall to see what will stick in terms of creature design. And I think this really worked. I think the crawlers
Mm,
really worked and are
they're
genuinely
incredible.
terrifying.
I love as
Um,
well that Neil Marshall was like genuinely angry that Dog Soldiers didn't get an 18 rating.
yeah,
Like he clearly tried with Dog Soldiers. Like, I want this to be an 18. And it's this horrifically gory film, very brutal film. And he gets a 15. So he's like, all right, boys, let's go. And he comes up with the
because
dissent. It's
they
like, you don't
bizarrely
think I can get an 18, do you? Go and watch that.
They bizarrely sort of compartmentalize fantasy violence. So with Dog
Mm.
Soldiers, they'll say, "Oh, because it's werewolves, and we know that they're a thing of fiction." Whereas this is literally like, "How do you not know that these are these man-made looking creature dwellers in the
Yeah.
caves? Have you
How do
been
you
down
know
in the
people
caves?"
haven't crossbred with naked mole rats or whatever they
Exactly.
are?
You don't
Well,
know this
they
until you
feel
go
like
down.
devolved humans, don't they? Who've like
Yeah.
evolved to live underground.
Yeah.
And I think that's the scary thing of like, because there is those stories, isn't there, of like cave people and people in the hills and, these like unevolved humans who just live to kill and eat people, like
Yeah.
cannibalistic.
Yeah.
I mean, The Hills Have Eyes, Wes Craven always based his stories loosely on some kind of truth that he read somewhere. Like even something as out there as Nightmare on Elm Street. And there was a family living wild in the hills in America in like the 16th century at some point that did exactly what the Hills Have Eyes family do, just
Yeah.
like kidnap and
There's
eat.
probably families in 2025 doing this in America, to be honest.
Yeah, like
Cost of
just
living's
eat.
going through the roof. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's crazy out
So
there.
glad you carried that by saying in America at the end of that sentence.
Yeah.
Thought you were just going to say around the corner. Like,
We've not got the land in England, have we?
Yeah.
If we had
Found
the
no
land,
places to
I'm sure we would.
hide.
just on saddle with more.
Yeah.
Right. Sticking with number sevens then. I forgot who I'm going to now. Am I back on Ollie? I'm back on Ollie. Oliver.
My number seven is going to be a big eyebrow raise.
Oh God.
It is going to be a big eyebrow raise, but it's one of those that really impacted me as a kid specifically. It is a Disney film.
Oh,
It's from Fox and the Hound.
okay.
It is the bear in Fox and the Hound. I don't know how well you guys remember the film Fox and the Hound, but obviously it ends up with Todd and Copper having been childhood friends, not liking each other anymore because Chief nearly gets killed. So they go and try and hunt him when they shouldn't, and they come across. Please look it up. Imagine, because keep in mind this was when This was like the last film that Don Bluth worked on in Disney. And you know what Don Bluth's philosophy is? You can put a kid through pretty much anything as long as you give them a happy ending. So Don Bluth loves visually traumatizing kids. He absolutely lives for visually traumatizing kids. And I do urge you to just search the bear in your own, like people listening and you guys right now, just look at this bear. It is unlike any bear that has ever come across a human being in your life. It is about 20 feet tall. It has red demonic eyes. It looks like it could win a fight with a building. And the music behind it and the sounds it makes, it's part of this brutal fight where
He's not holding anything back with that, is he? Like,
yeah, like come on, that's just its head, and you've got no sense of how tall it is there. You've got no sense of how big it is. So, in the context of the film, the hunter then gets caught in a bear trap, and the bear's going after him. And Copper, because he's a very good boy, tries to defend his human, and Copper's fighting this bear, and the bear and like biting, trying to look at the size of him. Look at him! That is a demon from hell. And Yeah, and it's the catharsis for Todd and Copper's friend. Like Fox and the Hound is legitimately a very underrated Disney film. It's so good, but that bear is just monstrous. It's that very typical Disney trait of even though every other animal we've seen in this cartoon can talk to each other, this thing can't. It's a monster. It cannot be reasoned with. It cannot be spoken down. It is out for blood. It is out to kill, and you've got to fight it. And it is an incredible scene, and it kind of feels like it's from a different film to the beginning, where this fox cub and this puppy just playing with each other whilst butterflies fly overhead and an owl sings at them. Like it feels like a very
Here's the bear.
yeah, yeah. Here's the bear that's going to make you not want to go to bed tonight,
Good old
kids.
Disney. Michael, number 7.
So my number 7, I don't think has a name in the film it's in, but it's based on Cthulhu, I believe, which is the
Nice.
monster in the Bird Box or Bird Box. Where like you look at it and then you kill yourself, or you try and get other people to look at it.
Oh, so is that why the I've not seen Bird Box, so that's why they're all blind.
Yes, because if you
Right.
see it, you will. They don't know why, but
Okay.
and again, that's the thing about it. It's not explained. You just know that if you see this thing, you
Mm.
are going to want to die. And some people seem kind of like, I don't know, as if like, well, that's it now, that's the answer. So now I should kill myself. And it's very like, I don't know, they don't seem afraid. But that's kind of the horrifying thing. Like, why are they no longer afraid? And I can't find anywhere that it's directly based on Cthulhu, but there's other kind of Cthulhu stories that have a similar kind of aspect of if you see it, you are driven mad. Like if
Right.
you look into the face of Cthulhu, you're driven insane. So it's very that Lovecraftian, like just horror. And again, it's that like unbeatable. And I think that a big thing for me is with a lot of monsters is the toxic masculinity kicks in. And if I think I could take that, then you know what I mean? Like even like
I can punt it.
Jason Voorhees, I just think, do you know what though? If I got one good hit in, I'd be fine. He's just a
That's
dude with a
not
machete.
that's not toxic masculinity. That's just like self-importance. Because I think that, and like I couldn't win a fight against a Jack Russell, but I'll watch Jason Voorhees and like I could take
I
it.
could have knocked him in the nads, That's all
Yeah.
it needs. Yeah,
Rip
exactly.
his mask off, run away.
Yeah.
And the first one, it's just his mum anyway. So like
Yeah.
even
Oh
Well,
worse,
yeah,
it's just an old
Even
woman.
easier.
easy.
I could take Pam. I could easily take
I'll
Pam.
take Pam. Like, come on, Pam. Right.
But yeah, and again, and it's the fact that then you can't trust the other humans who've been outside because if they could be one of the people who've seen it and are now trying to get you to see it.
Mm.
Yeah, and it's that like just the whole aspect of the whole film is very like tense all the way through because how do you solve this problem that if you go outside, it might not be there, but if it is and you look at it, it's over.
Mm.
There's no option to run away, there's no
Mm.
option, there's nothing you can do. You've seen it now, so now you're going to die. And you're going to do it as well. No one else is going to do it to you. You're going to do it.
Yeah.
Mm.
Interesting.
For another interesting fact as well, at some point in your leisure time, look up what H.P. Lovecraft called his cat.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
I know you know that. I'm telling these.
Just tell me.
No, you
No,
can't.
I'm not telling you, Adam. You're
you-
looking
Oh.
it
You
up.
can't.
You'll be demonetized.
Oh,
Yeah.
you absolutely right. Okay, fine. I'll have a look shortly.
No one in who is listening to this, look it up. Just don't look it up. No need.
Okay.
He was a product of his time,
He was.
which doesn't excuse it, but he was.
Oh no.
Well,
He
like,
renounced
race,
it on his deathbed, which also doesn't excuse it.
like,
Shows a
is it-
small amount
Show
of
some growth.
racism is pretty key to the plot of Call of Cthulhu, isn't
Oh.
it? Like, it's not just it's there because it's a byproduct of the time. Like, the plot is advanced by the racist ideology of the time.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
a weird book.
Holly, you're number 7.
Audrey 2 from Little Shop of Horrors.
Oh,
Yes.
I really
he's not a
debated
monster.
this.
He's a god.
Yeah, you've played him, right?
I haven't. It's a dream role,
All
but
right,
I
okay.
haven't actually played Audrey, so I would
A lot of
love to.
people's dream role for Ollie because you don't see his face.
It's like I would.
Oh, yeah, because that's what people want to do, Adam. They just want to hear me.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, well thought out.
Sorry, my
Voice of an
bad.
angel.
Yeah, the best singing voice of any monster, I feel.
I don't know, have you
Um,
seen K-pop Demon Hunters? Because
oh no,
no,
funnily enough, I have not seen K-pop Demon Hunters on my list.
it's good. It is actually good.
But they're not going to be better than Audrey 2. Not a chance.
It might
No.
be.
That voice is like warm jam on toast.
Hmm.
Amazing.
He's just a
I
big green mother from outer space.
yeah. I'm scared by Audrey too. It's a comedy film. It's silly. It's like handmade looking in a way. I'm not saying that to put it down. It's obviously there's a lot of artistry in it. It looks beautiful, but in a kind of handmade way. But the plant is just scary. It's really
I think
scary.
comedy and horror goes. I think that's why Jordan Peele's such a good horror director,
Yeah.
is because he understands comedy so well. And I think horror and
Hmm.
comedy, they're both things that are good if you push things too far.
And timing.
You get
Yeah,
timing right.
About
yeah.
Exactly.
timing.
Yeah.
Hmm.
When do you reveal things?
Hmm.
When does the monster reveal its plan?
Yeah.
Um,
The
but yeah,
setup
I
to a
really,
joke and the setup to a scare must be
yeah,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
formulaically similar.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I really like how Audrey 2 starts as this little thing that he has to nurture. He has to nurture with his own blood. Like, so it starts off helpless and he's created this monster. And is Audrey 2 monstrous because that's its nature? Or is it monstrous because it's been feeding off the the blood and this like feeling of inadequacy and lack of power of the protagonist, and it's like Fight Club, like it's his alter ego, it's the thing that can then eat
Audrey 2 is
his the love
Tyler
of his
Durden.
life's boyfriend who's abusive, and it can, that's reading too much into Little Shop of Horrors. But I really like Audrey too. It scares me. It's the scary big plant. Sings good.
Sings well.
Have you seen the stage show, Val?
I haven't. I really
I've
want
not
to.
yet.
So you haven't seen the true ending, which they did film
I've
for,
seen I've seen the alternative ending.
yeah, where the plant wins
Yeah.
and takes over the world.
Yeah.
It's a
Um,
really grim show.
I want to see the stage show actually.
It's
Um,
incredible.
there's one to tick off next time it comes around.
I'll tell you
Uh,
in a minute.
I'll tell you in a minute. We're about to get on to our number sixes. Oliver's going to kick us off, but I have just Googled the cat. Um, yeah,
The cat.
I
Oh.
Googled the cat. I Googled the cat. Right.
But Adam will be ecstatic with this pick because it's time for the Star Wars
Oh,
mention. Yay! Any shouts, Hall? What do you reckon I've gone with?
Ranker
Star Wars.
Beast.
It's the Rancor. It's got to be the Rancor. I mean, I could have gone with the Dianoga. But he's just a little eye. You don't really see how monstrous he is.
But
Unless
again, we have this problem because I've seen Book of Boba Fett. I know that again, he's just a cuddly dude.
he is a cuddly dude in that. But I see your Book of Boba Fett, and I raise you.
Well, come on, no, go on.
I raise you Jedi Survivor, where I came across that rank. I remember messaging Adam about this because I'd just
I
got
think
the game.
I text you as well because I was like,
Yeah.
how the bleeding hell do I get past this thing?
Yeah. So I told him the story that I came across the Rancor far too early in that game because it is a Diet Souls game, for those who are unaware. So it's not anywhere near the difficulty level of Dark Souls, but it's kind of similar-ish. And I came across that Rancor way too early in my
You have to
gameplay.
get good.
And he was absolutely flatlining me, but I just got into this mentality of, now screw this. Luke Skywalker killed this with a bone and a rock. I can do it with a lightsaber. I'm a big boy. I'm a proper Jedi. And because it was one of the, like, he has, even if you were like leveled up enough, he has a one-hit kill move. He just like lunges at you, grabs you, noms you, and you're dead. And there's nothing you can do. And
Surviving that.
yeah, and it's a surprisingly quick attack. And I got good, Michael. I did get good. Not only did I eventually beat him after dying like near enough 30 times, when I beat him, I did not take a single hit. I was in the zone. I was one with the force. I did not get hit once. I dodged. I parried appropriately. I was whittling down his health bar a pixel at a time with every strong hit because that's how weak my character was. But I got him down and I felt like a champ. And I
Mate,
remember
died to a
feeling,
stormtrooper in the next room.
yeah, immediately, yeah, Rick the door technician. But it is just, it's that homage to classic movie monsters. Like, as soon as he's revealed through the door, and you've got this weird little stop motion puppet boy who eats the Gamorrean by putting his mouth around his entire fist because the effect was kind of janky at the time, bless him. Um, and he, like, yeah, he is a bit of a cuddly boy. I always do to this day feel sad when his handler just bursts into tears in that film. Like, he's given nothing else to do in that film except cry when, and his mate comes up and like comforts him. But he's a great design, and like the fact that when he came around the corner in Jedi Survivor, I was like, oh no. And then there's a bit later in the game where you get these force tears where you're meant to heal a rift in the force, and they're basically really hard bonus levels. And there's one of them where you've got to fight two of them, and that was I nearly gave up at that point. I did it, I platinumed the game now, but I nearly did not attempt that because it was very very difficult. He's got a great roar as well. I think that with big monsters especially, that helps. That helped me a lot with the Balrog. Balrog's got a great roar of just pure heat coming out of his mouth, and this Rancor's got an iconic roar as well. He's great.
I think I didn't consider Star Wars because the best monsters in Star Wars are humans.
Mhm.
Like, in Rogue One, the hallway scene, Darth Vader is
Yeah,
terrifying. And the fact that he's holding the door closed as well. Like a
yeah,
little bit at the end where the door just opens because he's done now. He's killed them all. He doesn't need to hold it
yeah.
closed anymore.
Yeah.
Um, and if you go into like the extended lore, some of the Sith are truly quite monstrous.
Like
And you kind of
nihilists.
almost then forget that actually, yeah, there are quite a lot of quite scary aliens in this
I
universe.
did consider between it was either like the Rancor or the Sarlacc because I wanted to stick to movie stuff because there's some stuff I can't remember what I think it's called a Gorak. There's that massive thing that you fight in the arena in Force Unleashed 2. That like it's this thing that's about the size of a building, and you fight it because you're Star Killer and you're in God of War, Star Wars, and you're the most OP character ever. And there's a bull rancor in that, so there's a rancor that's even harder to kill in the first Force Unleashed game. But I think the Sarlacc's great, but in the original film, it is just a toothy hole in the desert, and then later they added a weird
It's a
CGI
lazy
beak.
doom worm, isn't it?
Yeah, like honestly, I mean they're clearly too intelligent, but the Shai Hulud is a good monster shout. But yeah, Rancor.
Good for you for getting Star Wars in.
You're just happy I got it out of number 6.
Yeah. It'll happen when we do the fight scenes as well. I'll just be
You
waiting
better
for.
bloody believe it'll happen when we do the
Oh.
fight scenes.
Michael, you're number 6.
So I've got one that this is my contentious one. It's Christine, as in the car Christine.
Yeah,
Christine.
Yeah.
Because I watched this when I was very, very young when I watched Christine, like maybe 7. Like my parents watched far too many horror movies around me. And it just is horror. Like when it goes for the guy who runs and he goes into that little gap and the car's destroying itself to crush him. And the next day it's fine, like because it's just regenerated itself. The guy locks inside and then sets itself on fire, basically. And it's this thing that will damn it, even harm itself as long as it gets you. It doesn't care because again, it's this unfeeling thing. It's just a car that's like possessed. Yeah, and obviously there's a lot of you've got to really your suspension of disbelief's got to really work overtime in that film. But it is terrifying, even though it's just a car. It is like, or certainly to me at the
wins in a
time.
fight though, Michael? Christine or the Green Goblin truck from Maximum Overdrive?
Oh, I don't know what that is.
Have you not seen Maximum
I
Overdrive?
don't think I have.
It's
No?
Stephen King actually directing one of his own films, and it ends up a lot funny. And it's basically technology becomes evil, and
Right.
like all of the trucks and the cars come to life and try to kill the people. And like, there's a kid who's like there's I'm pretty sure there's a kid who's killed by a vending machine that shoots coke out at him really quickly. There's one kid who literally gets steamrolled by like a ground painter. You know, like when they're doing the lines on like baseball fields and stuff like that.
Oh dear.
Um, and there's yeah, so yeah, all the technology is evil, but the big bad is this like black truck with basically a massive green goblin head on the front of it.
Yeah, no, I just get yeah, Amelia Westerford's isn't it? No, I haven't
Yeah,
seen that.
it is.
It's got
It
it's
is
got
a
a
stu-
14% on Rotten Tomatoes, so I
it
don't
is
know if I'll
it is a
We'll add that to the
dreadful
watch
film.
list.
Yeah, it's a dreadful film, but it's hilarious. I think the problem, like Stephen King, might not be a horror writer. He might have wanted us to laugh at his books the entire time, and we're like, "Oh my God, it's such a terrifying concept," and he just wants us to laugh at it.
And I mean, if you've seen Misery, there's nothing to laugh at in that film.
Yeah, there's
Like,
nothing fun. There's nothing funny in there.
that's actual horror. That's
Yeah.
genuine. Like that could really happen. That's what's scary about that one.
Right. Holly, number six.
Um, Already spoken about the Pale Man from Pan's Labyrinth.
Yes.
Just
Lovely.
as we said, Doug Jones, his physical kind of performance, amazing. The design, amazing. Scared the bejesus out of me. That like hands are like creepy things anyway. Eyeballs are creepy things. Don't put them together, or do, and you make an amazing movie villain. Um, but yeah, nothing else to say because it's already been said. Pale
Did
Man.
you go into Pan's Labyrinth expecting a nice children's film like because I didn't know Pan's Labyrinth was like the kind of film it was. I was like, oh, this looks fun. Put it on.
No,
Wasn't fun.
thankfully, no, I didn't. I went in expecting it to be creepy. I wasn't expecting it to be as emotional, like such an emotional gut punch. Like that ending destroyed me,
I'm
absolutely destroyed me. Um,
really happy Guillermo doesn't seem to have lost his touch in a way a lot of those directors coming out at the same time did. Like his films are still, I still really like his films. I love his Pinocchio. Like, other than the
I
That's the
loved
song,
it,
Strain
yeah.
TV show. That's Del Toro as well, isn't it?
which
Yeah.
one?
The Strain, the TV show. They're
Yeah.
like vampires, but they're not vampires, but they are vampires.
Well, he's done vampires. Like his first film was a vampire film, like Kronos. There's a little girl trying to bring back her grandfather, which is just this like just all of his films are like, what if this child was really sad about something?
He's doing Frankenstein next, isn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't
that'll
know. That'd
be
be good.
melancholic and whimsical somehow, won't it?
Yeah. Right, my number six actually featured in a film this year, but made their debut in 2002. Now we can talk zombies. We can talk a lot about zombies and zombies being, the slow walkers, and then you get the fast ones and all that kind of stuff.
But
For
how are
me,
they feeling, Adam?
how are they feeling? They're
Are they
feeling
are they,
brain.
are they,
Angry.
are they a little bit
Feeling angry.
angry?
Well,
Are they
these
angry
ones
boys?
are rage filled.
Hey,
Well, the
So
British, so they're miffed.
they are British
yeah,
because they are miffed.
they're peeved.
Because genuinely, the most terrifying version of a zombie, I think, are the
Mm,
rage infected from 28 days later, 28 weeks later, and 28 years later. Although,
mm.
if you've seen 28 years later, and I won't spoil anything, the most terrifying thing happens 2 minutes before the end of the film. Yeah, but the rage infected, obviously, other than the alpha walking around, now the running joke with the six formers after they all went to go and see 28 years later was, yeah, did you see the alpha though? And I was like, I know the reason why you're asking me that, and it's because they wear no clothes. And I would not have wanted to watch that film in IMAX. But
Mm.
genuinely, like them sprinting and the noises that come out of their mouths, just absolutely terrifying. Like, I know we were talking before about our own personal hubris and us going, you know what, I could take one of them. I couldn't take one of them.
No.
Couldn't take one of them, and I couldn't outrun one of them. What I could do is I could take one of the bigger ones that crawls around on the floor, but not one that's sprinting at me. So I don't know
I
what I'd do. I'd just have to sort of suck it up and see, I think. But just
Ah,
I
you could
can't
take one.
remember.
no, God, no, nah.
Yeah.
I can't remember any
I can try
zombies
and punt.
banned.
You tell you
before
what, it's just like a night out in Manchester.
which I
that.
also avoid.
You've been on, you've been to
Yeah.
Deansgate before. Come on.
Yeah, I can't remember before that any zombies that ran because Romero started the formula of they just kind of slowly amble because they were
Yeah.
these rotting corpses. And that was, even though we had plenty of zombies that were caused by a virus, because like Resident Evil had been a concept for
Mhm.
years at that point, but they would still like slowly shuffle towards you because the whole point was survival horror. So you weren't meant to
I
necessarily
think
shoot.
this was definitely the sprinters. This was definitely the first time we'd seen some
Yeah.
sprint.
Yeah, because
Then
the first
even
I saw them, I know it came out after, was the remake of Dawn of the
yeah,
Dead.
I
I
was gonna say
remember
like
seeing,
Snyder borrowed that from this.
yeah, because I
Um,
remember seeing, like, I remember coming into the middle of that film and being like, oh, Dawn of the Dead, that'll be cool. I just remember a zombie coming around the corner and then just sprinting, and I was like, yo, what?
yeah,
They
because then
can't
like
run. That's against the rules.
something like The Last of Us, I think finds a middle ground in that they are still slow because they're slow to sort of
It's the
understand.
hive mind, though, isn't it, in The Last of
Yeah,
Us that
that's the most
Mm.
terrifying thing of
Yeah.
we'll let you know through tendrils and through whatever else that actually something's kicking off here.
I'm
Um,
halfway through series two.
well, I was just going to
Watched an
mention, uh,
watched an
yeah,
episode last night, so with a horde in it,
the
and that was
the Horde
terrifying.
episode, episode 2, the Horde where they go after Jackson.
N no,
Oh,
another horde that
spoilers.
happens just before Stalker's
yeah,
plural.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah,
With no spoilers for people
yeah,
who haven't watched
no,
it.
no, no. But yeah, they can be absolutely terrifying. But my pick number 6 is the Rage Infected because they are frightening.
Mm.
Um, right, top fives. I was going to say we're moving swiftly on, but we've been about an hour and 15 minutes here. So come on, people, swift. It's a good job we're not doing another one today. Right. Michael, number 5. I said number 1. Wishful thinking. We're not there yet. Number 5.
So my number five is it is a monster. And it's not a monster, and it's a bear again. Actually, it's from. Have you seen the movie Annihilation?
Yes.
So
Yes.
the bear from
Great
that,
shout.
to me, is one of the most terrifying things on because it's the fact that it's screaming with the voice of the woman it killed earlier, who is
Yeah.
their friend, and it's the idea that imagine this deformed, half dead looking zombie-ish bear is coming at you, but it's screaming, "Help me," in the voice of your friend that it murdered earlier.
Mm.
And that whole I mean, like that scene in the house when they're all hiding, it's kind of creeping through the house, screaming, "Help me" at them, is just like that's proper horror.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad film overall. I think I enjoy that film more than the internet does. I think it's all right. Some people like it, some people don't. It's a very split film, but I that scene alone is fantastic. It's just so like tense, and you kind of like, although yes, technically it is just a bear, and you assume that the army could come in and kill it. The army's not there at that point; it's just them, and it's very like they're alone. They're in the middle of nowhere. There's this thing coming to get them, and it's not stealthy. It's just screaming at them, and yeah, it's
Yeah.
a very good
I
monster.
love, it might not be exactly this, but I love like skinwalker horror because that's
It has the aspect to it, yeah,
like
because
that,
it's
that
got the
element of like
voice.
trying to lure something in with the voice of something it's used in the
But also,
past. Like,
I think by this point they know that if it kills them, they'll kind of become part of it as well.
Mm.
Because of what's happening, things are merging together. So then
mm,
you've also got is the friend who it's killed still kind of aware and now part of it? And is it actually her still screaming, "Help me," when it
Yeah.
right.
opens its
Yeah.
mouth? You know
Mm.
what I mean? There's levels to the horror because of what's going on with all the merging of
And
everything.
the uncertainty around it, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good shout. I really like that film. I'm gonna watch that again.
I
Um,
really enjoyed it.
yeah. Holly, you're number 5.
Um, in the spirit of being quick, it's already been spoken about. The crawlers from Descent
Good shout.
scared the bejesus out of me when I watched it. I watched it at like a sleepover. I was probably
Oh
12
God.
or 13. What a
Turn the
ridiculous
lights on.
choice. I don't think an adult signed off on this choice. Yeah, scary, terrifying, everything Adam said.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
well, my number 5 has already been mentioned, but has only been mentioned so far in Holly's honorable mentions. Um, Pennywise. because to me, like Pennywise, yeah, ultimately is terrifying, but then the thing that as soon as I sort of figured it out in my head or put two and two together in my head is that I'm not voting for a clown. I'm voting for this shape-shifting being that can be whatever it wants to be and is various things throughout the film. But I think people tend to forget that because you associate Pennywise with being the clown form that it takes most of the time. And it's that idea of it can literally be anything. It can be the thing that you are most afraid of, or the thing that is going to make you most terrified in that very specific moment in time. And I remember I was a full-on wimp when the remake came out of this because I'd not seen the original, and I don't think I've not actually seen the original yet either, the Tim Curry version. But I'd seen the trailer for the 2017 version, and I'd heard that it was genuinely terrifying. And I was just like, I don't really know if that's a bit of me. I don't like supernatural stuff and paranormal stuff freak me out the most. Because again, going back to our hubris, stuff like Jason Voorhees, I will go and kick him in the nads. If it gets to it, I'll give it a go, right? But with this stuff where it's like you can just, dissipate and go away, like what am I supposed to do then at that point? You're still controlling the doors in the house. You're still, knocking me for six or whatever. Um, but I'm so glad that I did actually get to watch it because I found it, chapter one specifically, a very effective horror film, but then also mixing in some of the stuff that I love with like coming of age films and like it gave me a proper Stranger Things feel and all that kind of stuff. And then I really enjoyed chapter two. Like people were really sniffy about chapter two, but I really enjoyed seeing them all as adults and sort of even the length of it didn't bother me as well. And I'm looking forward to Welcome to Derry, the prequel series that they're doing. But yeah,
Don't
Pennywise.
read the book.
I know what happens in the book. I know, yeah, and
Stephen King's a weird guy.
Stephen King is a weird guy. He comes up with all these ideas, and thank the Lord that some people, when we get to movies, they go, "No, we're not doing that.
We're not putting that on film,
We're not
Stephen.
doing that. We
They've
can't do
not they're not on as much cocaine as he's on. Like the vending machine shooting coke at people was an allegory for that's how he lives his life.
that."
But I think my favorite bit of it part two is, and it's again that comedy horror bit is, I think, is it Bill Hader? He goes like for a rock at it, and it like captures him in the death beam, and he just goes limp
Yep.
and like so, and it's very like goofy in a way, but at
But
the same time, it's
especially
horrifying.
getting someone like Bill Hader to do that,
Yeah.
like he's naturally funny bone. Like he's
Didn't
that's
Finn
gonna
Wolfhard like push for him to play the older version of him?
wouldn't surprise me. They
Like,
all
because
do a really they all do a really fantastic job.
the kids were asked to a point. It's like, who do you want to play the older versions of you? Who do you think will do a good job? And I do remember the cast of it. I do remember the cast of it being like, oh my God, yeah, they got some good people in
The
there.
older one, like James McAvoy,
Yeah, Jessica
Jessica Chastain,
Chastain.
yeah, Bill Hader, yeah, yeah.
I do remember
Um,
as well Bill Hader talking with Bill Skarsgård about, oh, it's really creepy when they do that CGI thing with your eye. And Bill Skarsgård goes, "What, you mean this?" And he does it himself because he can actually do it. And there's a picture of Bill Hader just like,
he's a freaky
realizing he can
lucky
do it
man.
for real.
Um, I'm now generally debating putting it in my remakes list because I didn't think about it before. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm solid on that list. Right. Oliver, you're number five.
I've broken some rules. I don't care.
Oh, here we
I'm
go. I'm
putting
just gonna
clickers
write
in
it
there,
down.
ads. I'm putting clickers in there.
Yeah. I mean,
Like,
I'm not mad about it. Like Ellie's right
yeah,
here. Like I'm not
yeah.
mad
Like,
about
I
it. But
had to include them. They are. I think they're one of the most interesting zombie types out there. Like the way the game sets out to give them a disadvantage, but then turn that into them being one of the scariest enemies in the game. Like every clicker encounter is really, really tense because they've just decided, right, even though these things can't see you, they will one hit you. Like, fine, I can buy into that narrative. The design of them is terrifying. The way that the mushroom is just kind of like sprouting out of their presumably decomposed skull at this point. The sound design is unreal. I love that they didn't try and mess with that in the show. They just kept that as it was in the game because they knew they were onto a winner in the game with that very particular clicking sound. The fact that I love a good game enemy as well that means you can't just hide in the same place forever. Because if you do that, they will find you eventually. So
Hmm.
you do have to keep moving. You do have to stay on your toes, but you also have to do it stealthily. And you've got that advantage of you can be in front of them. You just got to make sure they're not clicking, and they do that. But it's such a good design. Like zombies are done to death, and like even the demon zombies that I mentioned in my honorable mentions, and like the rage zombies that you and Hall have mentioned, like they are still zombies. They are still just people that are acting a bit different. And in the early stages of infection, the infected in Last of Us are just that as well. They are, slightly. They are just, people that look a bit janky. Whereas these guys are a genuinely unique take on it. And I love them for that.
Yeah.
So clickers.
There's that sort of like horror and beauty as well with the idea they've got literally a flower bloom out the top of their head.
Yeah.
And it's so haunting. Have you played the game yet?
No.
Come on, man.
Man, I'm not going to. It's
Come on, man.
like, you know what I'm like with scary games. I can't. I played them too young. I'm absolutely broken by Nemesis. Just,
Well, speaking of Nemesis, so I've been doing Resident Evil.
mm,
I've done the first one, I've done the second one. I've got Nemesis ready to go, but something
no,
about
no.
it just is stopping me at the minute from going
You're
now.
playing the
Nemesis.
originals or the remakes?
Well, I'm playing the remake of the first one, which was still very PS1 graphicy type stuff, and then it is the remake of the second one, and I think then it would be the remake of the third one, because then I
I
think
mean, it's not. It's all right, the remake of the third one, but it isn't. And I don't know if it's because I was young when I played it,
yeah,
but Resident Evil, like Nemesis, when you first, which is why I consider putting Nemesis in the list, even
mm,
though the film version is like the fact that it's like smashing through walls to get you, and the
yeah,
type of game that it is, and and
Mm.
like Resident Evil 2's got a giant moth, and I'm afraid of moths in real life. Do you know what I mean? Like even that was like not this. I don't know. It was like the kind of it was like the tyrant but better.
Yeah.
is
Um,
the tyrant is he the big sort of steel guy
Mr. X,
the
yeah.
tyrant, yeah,
in the
from number
second
two.
one? Who I had to
Yeah,
keep Buddy running away from all the time. Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
So it's
To be
like
fair,
that, but
Mr.
even
X
more
is, I
so.
would say Mr. X is better in the remake than in the first one.
Yes,
But Nemesis is way better in the
because he's
original.
coming. Nemesis is there for you. He
Yeah,
is
but
specifically coming for because you're a Stars member and he wants to kill the Stars members.
like it, you kind of feel this to a point in the remake of Resident Evil 2, but you still feel very outgunned. Whereas, like, you are so hindered in the original game for Resident Evil 3 by the janky tank controls. Like Mr. X is a bit easier to get around. Like you can kill him if you put enough bullets into him and he disappears and then he comes back later. Whereas like Nemesis just doesn't go down.
Mm.
And
It's
he
such a good design as well. Like he
yeah, it's a
looks
great
so
design.
terrifying.
Like they were onto something with that. But and just that stars whenever he's near. Oh, don't like it.
He
I'm
feels
gonna give
like
it
a
a go.
weapon, like a manufactured weapon. I
Right.
think that's the thing. He's not just a monster; he's a weaponized monster.
Okay. Number four's Holly kicking us off your number four.
It was on Ollie's honorable mentions. I don't know if it's really allowed. So Jaws, the shark.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's monstrous in size,
Hmm.
if not like with monster elements. And I just think he's an important monster to appreciate because it kicked off, you that kind of blockbuster
Yeah,
type film.
yeah,
Um, and I found him genuinely scary. It made me a bit scared of sharks. It made me a bit scared of swimming for a while, even though I saw it when I was in my 20s and it's very dated and very odd. And obviously the the shark looks terrible when you do see the shark. But Spielberg knows exactly how much to show you, how little you need to show to build tension and a scary atmosphere and for you to be really, really scared of what's happening. The music does a unbelievable job of doing that. There's not a lot to say. I just like the shark in
I like
Jaws.
that the music isn't
Classic.
used when it is, when it's just like a person with like a fin. The
Yeah,
music isn't playing. So although from the visuals you don't know that that isn't the actual shark, but technically you should because the music's not playing. And I like that aspect because that's one of the things I noticed on a rewatch a few years ago. I think someone pointed it out to me actually. I don't think I noticed it myself, but it's like actually it's because the scene feels less tense, and you don't realize why. It's just the absence of the music makes it feel less
Yeah.
tense.
Yeah,
It's a very well shot film.
it
Yeah.
is.
He kills a kid. Lest we forget, in the 70s, that was really brave. Like
Yeah,
for Spielberg
yeah,
to just
yeah.
be like, yeah, we're getting this shot to kill a kid. Like, was that the first film to use that weird zoom in on the foreground, zoom out on the background shot as
No.
well?
It was.
Hitchcock invented that for Vertigo.
Ah, okay.
I think they did it slightly differently though, because I think they used a dolly in this one. But either way, yeah. Um, right. My number four, similar to Jaws, I suppose, and similar to a conversation that I had before with King Kong. My number four is Godzilla. Like, and I sort of mentioned, I've made a little list of like appearances. So like obviously the original film, but then like, I'll say it like Emmerich's 1998 version. It's a guilty pleasure. I can't help
Yeah.
it. Just because of when I was watching it as a kid and all that kind and I've seen the clips of the Japanese version absolutely destroying that version of Godzilla.
Just yeeting him onto Sydney
Just
Opera
like
House.
you're tiny. See you later. Like um I really, really enjoyed Gareth, and I always get them mixed up. Edwards' version. I get them mixed up because I'm going to mention
Yeah,
Gareth
I enjoyed the
Evans when I
10
come
minutes
to
he
the
was in
fight
that 2 hour
scene.
film as well.
Shut up, man. That's the whole point. You're building to him. It's the reveal. It's everything. Um, and again, like Godzilla versus Kong, I really like this version of Godzilla. But then I will mention as well, -1, very, very good film.
Mm.
Um, and I'm waiting to see what they do with that. But I feel like I had to mention him. I feel like I had to get him in there somewhere. Um, and yeah, that's Godzilla. He's my number
He's
four.
just a weird because he became a bit of a hero character for years, didn't he? Despite literally starting out as a metaphor for the horrors of nuclear war, because the Japanese were like, we need a way to cope with the fact that we got nuked twice, so let's try and do that through film.
Well, a lot
And
of the
then
sort
he
of
destroys Mothra, who is a
Mm,
yeah.
truly horrifying monster.
The more
yeah,
recent ones tend to use him as a kind of like, let's signal Godzilla. Is Godzilla there? We've got to track him down.
yeah.
Let's call on
Ken
Godzilla.
Watanabe, let them fight.
You know,
It will be
let's
cool.
let's put a big, Godzilla sign in the sky and he'll
Yeah.
help us out. Like, right, Oliver, you're number four.
Someone's mentioned him. I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Michael, but I'm going with Predator for my number four.
Okay.
Like, I'm aware, like, there's the argument that he's a bit more intelligent, but like, and he is, like, they're capable of interstellar travel and they are capable of, but just because he's actively hunting doesn't make him any less monstrous. He is this 8 foot tall muscle mountain thing that speaks in a series of clicks and roars and has technology beyond our comprehension. Like, and it's such,
This is how foxes feel, though.
yeah.
You know what I
No,
mean? That
like,
is when people are hunting foxes.
but we did
That's how they feel.
agree. We'd ignore the meme of man is the true monster. Like we agreed we'd
We did
ignore
agree.
that.
That's what
We did agree on that.
Predator becomes, and that's so I agree that he's scary and terrifying, and
Otherwise,
I
Trump
love
would be
that
number one on
even
all
if
of
you
our
do
lists.
right,
Oh, yeah,
haha, I'm
elliptic ladder.
you know what I mean, and I like that aspect to him, but it is the fact that he is a little bit of a man is the true monster because he is just
Yeah.
a more efficient hunter than we are,
Oh yeah,
and
except
we're
he's
now
not
the
because
prey.
he keeps on losing out to us. Like we
But he's
keep on
not because they
beating
just
him.
eat arm nuke. He can't lose because he goes right arm nuke, boom,
Yeah. Well, they
goodbye
didn't
to
have
this
one in.
particular area.
They didn't have one in Prey. They didn't have arm nukes in Prey.
Prey is such
I
a
haven't
good
seen
film.
Prey. I'll be honest.
Watch.
So
Oh
good.
my God, watch
Watch
Prey.
Prey.
It's so good. It is
I will make a note of that.
so
Listen.
good.
I have
Very,
heard.
very
I
good.
just keep pointing off. I don't know why really.
It's very,
Um,
very good.
but I do love their whole culture. I do love that aspect. I know it goes against what we've been saying, like monsters are kind of monstrous in their personality as well, but I do love their sense of honor. You know, they won't go after people without weapons. If someone's given them a good fight, they'll throw away their technology and go a bit more mano-y-mano with them. If someone has been a disappointing hunt, then they have one rule for him. They skin him and leave him upside down. Whereas if someone's been a great hunt for them, a good match for him, they rip their spine and their skull out from behind them and stuff like I just love that kind of lore behind, but it's such a great design. This one is Stan Winston. I know that this one's Stan Winston. And I'm so happy they ended up with what they did rather than a bug with Jean-Claude Van Damme in the suit, just running through the jungle, being annoyed that his face isn't being shown. So they went with the giant man, Kevin Hall, whose other big claim to fame is Harry and the Hendersons. And I just love that moment where you're so used to, in the 80s especially, you're so used to Arnold Schwarzenegger being able to punch his way out of any problem, like literally any problem. And he punches Predator, and Predator's like, no. Bang, don't be stupid. And I love, like, there's about 10, 20 minutes at the end of that film where it is Dutch versus the Predator. And there's barely a word said. Like, Arnold has the odd obligatory, like, silly one-liner and screaming at him and stuff like that. But there's such little dialogue. It is these two masters of their game going toe-to-toe with each other in this war against each other. And it's this amazing action set piece that culminates in him being a bad loser, as Michael has hinted at. But Stan Winston's design on that thing it's one of the most iconic movie creatures out there. It's not the most. We will get to him, believe me. But it's one of the most iconic. Some of them are him.
Okay.
But yeah, Stan Winston did an absolute job with the Predator. It looks great, sounds great, the way it acts is great, and I love that it's found a bit of footing because it went through a period of just not doing particularly well. I quite liked Alien versus Predator. I thought that was fine.
I don't mind Predators.
I like
Yeah,
Predators. Like, people are like, oh my God, Adrian Brody is your action lead. That's so stupid. It's like, he did a really good job in that film.
Other than the whole sort of gruff him going like, oh, where do we go now? And he's like,
yeah, but that was just the thing at the time. I'm not going to blame him for that. And I could unlike Christian Bale, I could actually understand what he was saying most of the time.
Shut your face.
But I liked Predators. I liked. I've not seen the one that got panned in between that and Prey.
Oh, the Shane Black one.
Yeah,
I've not seen that though. Like, that was fun.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
I've not seen that one, but Prey, I cannot. I think that is what they need to do with Predator. They just need to have Predator trying to take on humans at various time periods.
Well, Predator Badlands looks quite interesting.
Yeah.
I think the problem is for me though, they won't let Predator like properly win. And I feel like Predator should win in at least one. It should just absolutely just decimate everyone who throw at it and win. And then the next, because it's kind of like everyone's beat it now. Everyone's had a crack and everyone's beat it at one point or another.
I guess that would explain the lore though of why they keep
Predator now. I've seen it. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Put myself
Michael's
in
gonna
mud.
punt him.
Can't even see me.
To be fair though,
I've got a
Michael,
face mask over there that I can put on. It can't see me anymore.
to be fair though, that would kind of tie into the lore of why they keep coming back, because they're like, there's this really dangerous planet. There's these tiny hairless apes that just do not know when to quit, and we keep sending them. And our team, every single time, one of our boys manages to whittle down an entire team, except for one prick who refuses to die, and then by war of attrition, that prick wins. So we're gonna keep doing this until we win.
The one thing
That's
I'm
my
learning from
headcanon
all
anyway.
this, thing I'm learning from all this is that my list just needs to bump down one, and I just need to write man as number one.
Yeah, man is the real monster.
This is it. Clearly, it's
Yeah.
our fault.
Here's the real monster.
Oh, snap,
Snap.
snap. Michael, your number 4, please.
My number 4 is, by modern standards, a little bit camp and like, or maybe not. It depends on how you look at it.
We've
but
had
it's
Audrey 2 on the list, Michael. I think we're fine.
not that kind of camp. I mean, like Pinhead and the Cenobites, and now they're a bit like.
I will go to war for Pinhead with you. Pinhead's terrifying.
A lot of people look at it now and go, "Oh, it's not that." You know what I mean? It's a bit over the top. It's a bit too much. It's that era of. It's like Wishmaster. It's that era of just too much gore. But I like the Cenobites in the fact that like it's they almost like it's a reward. They're gifting you this pain because to them
Mm.
that's like the height of existence, isn't it? Like the pain and pleasure kind of thing. And also the fact that like some humans do feel pain differently and some people do feel pleasure differently, and is that kind of and that sadomasochistic kind of part of them. And just the idea of like, can some of these hooks that come and hook you up, and it's not like some big thing that come and rip you, it's the little hooks hooking into your skin and lifting you up, and it's like death by a thousand cuts.
Hmm.
But no, I just think like Pinhead himself is quite terrifying. And I think the fact that you solve this puzzle to make them appear, so it's that like because we're naturally quite curious, we will always summon them back because someone will always find it, and someone will always go, oh, actually, but what? But no, and then we'll always bring them back, so they can't really ever be
Hmm.
defeated. You can just get rid of them and as that kind of, you probably see it a bit of a pattern in mine. It is that like there's nothing you can do. They're getting you one way or another. Eventually, they're gonna win.
You got to trick your way out of them, haven't you? I like
Yes.
them. I like monsters like that.
And they're like almost like polite to you while they're doing it.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're
like he's
not the
speaking.
villains.
Yeah,
The
he's so
Cenobites are not the
soft-spoken.
villains of that film. Frank is the villain of that film, undeniably.
But no, I really like, and I think the design, they've all got the different designs. They're always a little bit like, and the design to almost be like scary, but a little bit sexy. And it's like a very confusing film to watch at times. Like, what's going
Clive
on?
Barker is very weird with his whole psychosexual angle. Like,
Yeah.
just-
And again, it's one of those films that I was way too young to have watched because I was definitely under 10 when I watched this film.
oh
But I've
my
watched it
god!
again as an adult, and it still kind of holds up. It's still a little bit like,
I really
I
like
don't know if
Hellraiser.
scary is the right word, but it's definitely uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And they definitely are like, you wouldn't want to meet them, you wouldn't want to come across them. And you definitely would be like, well, I don't know what I would do in this situation. I'm just probably screwed if these guys turn up.
Mm.
Which I guess is for me one of the things that gets them on the list.
Nice. Right, top threes. I'm going to kick us off with my number three. One that I don't know. I'm kind of hoping he's going to come up as well on somebody else's list. But I thought about Jurassic Park. I thought about dinos. And I
It's
didn't
just a
want to
big
do.
chicken.
Never mind. It's just a little
You
chicken.
shut your mouth, Michael.
I didn't want to sort of do two. So I'm giving a now late honorable mention to the goddess that is the T-Rex. But my pick,
It
or
also has
you
a New
can,
York scene in number two.
yes,
Or is it number three?
you can give me that confused look and you can give me that sort of frown of, but there's nothing more terrifying in Jurassic Park than the Velociraptors.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
sorry.
I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
are you not merciful, Ollie?
Yeah.
Velociraptors from Jurassic Park is my number three as well, Adam.
Yeah.
See,
So we
winning,
can talk about it together.
winning,
I'll
right.
allow it.
So mainly because obviously the kitchen scene,
Yes.
like, is
Yeah.
terrifying as it is. The fact that they can open doors and all this kind of stuff. But then I was thinking back when I was thinking about, do I do Velociraptor? Do I do T-Rex? They start the film with a Velociraptor killing somebody, and that sets the scene. So then
Mm.
at that point, you're anchoring everything. You're anchoring your horror on that specific dinosaur or that type of dinosaur.
Also, the description of how they kill.
Yes, but
The
the whole
really
like
long,
Alan Grant
terrifying
with
this
a yeah,
giant.
yeah, all that kind of
The
stuff.
really long, inaccurate way of how they kill.
Oh, you weren't there, man. You don't know. But then going into the second one, so going into Lost World, the long grass sequence in Lost World is terrifying. The fact that you
Yeah.
can't see them, the fact that you know that they are there. And you lot can besmirch me all you want. I will even mention the Jurassic World stuff, right? Because
That was
you kind of
fine.
they're still terrifying. They win them round a little bit because it's like, oh, we're gonna call one blue and we're gonna
The
do all that
best,
kind
the
of
best
stuff.
scene in Jurassic World is where he jumps in to save the guy who's fallen in, and he's like, he's holding them back, but just.
Yeah, because you know at
That is the
any minute
best
they can
scene in
flip.
Jurassic World.
Any minute they can flip,
Yeah,
right?
like that. They
Um,
could just decide, actually, you look too tasty. We're going to eat you.
I was a little bit saddened when I realised that they're not featured in Rebirth,
Mm.
because Rebirth is a very strange one, which is a whole other conversation. because there's like mutated dinosaurs and they've not necessarily relied on it. Every now and again, it's a film that reminds you that it's a Jurassic Park or a Jurassic World film, in that essentially these people have gone onto this island to try and save people from heart disease by taking tissues or stuff from these specific three dinosaurs. And then every
Mm,
now and again, just to remind you, someone will dust off a folder and it'll say
yeah.
InGen on it.
Yeah.
And then you're like,
Just out of
oh,
interest,
there we
are they
are.
the three most marketable dinosaurs?
Well, weird. Well, it's a pterodon. It's a Spinosaurus and a no, it's not a Spinosaurus, but they have Spinosauruses in there, and it's a Mosasaurus, the big one that was in the water. Uh,
Yeah.
but then the awful looking, like now, if you go to like Smith's toy shop, right? There's a poster trying to sell the latest toy of this thing, and they call it the D-Rex, right? Which is some sort of like mutated T-Rex. It's got
Uh,
like, it's got like a sort of what's that? It's like a beluga. It looks like a beluga. It's got like a big thing on its head, and it looks like its face has just been squashed up next to a mirror. Yeah, it's
this
weird.
this description is genuinely making me sad, but
Type in
okay.
D-Rex. You might get something else if you put your filters on, but type in,
Yeah.
type in D-Rex.
It's what you would get if T-Rexes evolved to survive car crashes.
That's it. That's ultimately it. With its big bone head. Um,
Oh, what?
yeah,
Why?
yeah.
Why?
Because
But
they needed a dinosaur that could survive being shot in the head.
I will say this, and
Because that's a
my
big
my
problem
my
for them.
ADHD brain is currently the thing that's fighting me against this. I had a really, really good idea of how they can just end the entire trilogy, and I wrote it, or trilogies, and I wrote it down on my phone, and I would love to sit down and write the script of it, but I've not thought about it since I wrote the idea down, and it's just in a note on my phone. So we'll see. We'll see if I ever get the motivation to do that. Holly, what do you want to say about Raptors?
Just that they haunted my childhood. It was the scariest action scene that I'd ever seen when I watched it. I think I probably watched the film the first time it came on telly.
Mhm.
I wasn't old enough to see it at the cinema. Um, and I was really wasn't sure whether to say the T-Rex or the Velociraptors. But obviously the T-Rex kind of turning around and being the good guy at the end is what pushed me towards the Velociraptors. The T-Rex scene when it's chasing the car is wonderful. I think it's one of the best action scenes ever
Mm.
in anything. Um, but the velociraptors are the thing that, as a child, just stuck with me. They were so scary. And that kitchen scene is so scary. And
Mhm.
while they were trying to lock the doors using the computer system, I was just like, oh my God, they're gonna get in, they're gonna get in. I think they're great. And the clever girl moment.
Yes.
I think that's one of my kind of uh I could tell the first time I watched it, I didn't understand why that was funny or why that was a callback. And then
Hmm.
rewatching the film, realizing that that was a really clever scene,
Yeah.
made me really like it. So their intelligence is the
Yeah.
thing that makes
Like,
them
well,
scarier than the T-Rex to me.
for its flaws, I really like the idea of them being able to communicate that they put into Jurassic Park 3, and
Hmm.
how they were gonna like Alan Grant uses that sort of thing to breathe through to
3D
try and
printed
like, yeah,
raptor
yeah.
voice box.
But I
Yeah.
quite like that, you know.
In my head, I want to think that like when he blows into the voice box, he says something like completely inappropriate, and that's why the raptors are all like, "What? Excuse you?
It says the name of Lovecraft's
Excuse
cat.
you, sir. We
Yeah.
shall just take our eggs
Oh,
and
broken my
leave. You
camera.
don't want
Yeah.
to be spoken to like that."
What did you say about my mum?
Yeah, that's racist, sir. You can't be saying that.
That
We
guy's
can
back
You named
again.
your cat what?
It's like that bit in the end game where it's like, oh, that guy's back again. New Master 369. Oh, right. Right. So that was Holly's number three as well. Nice bit of synergy. Oliver, your number three.
My number three is The Thing from John Carpenter's The
The
Thing,
thing.
I considered
which
the
is te-
thing.
which actually I'm going to keep stum about that for now. But yeah, The Thing is. I remember around the time I was like really getting into like just following stuff on YouTube. I saw like a Masters of Horror thing that was presented by Bruce Campbell, and it was interviews with like George A. Romero, Wes Craven, Toby Hooper, and one of them was John Carpenter. And he basically, I think I've said this on the podcast before, but he says there's only really two stories that you can tell in horror. And I want you to imagine there's, people sat around a campfire. Maybe it's a village elder, maybe it's just the wisest person in the posse or whatever, but they're telling stories, and it starts with, let me tell you where the evil is. Story number one is it's the beasts out in the wilderness, in the forest, the things that are trying to grab us. That's one horror story you can tell. The other one is, let me tell you where the evil is. It's within us. It's within our human hearts. It's within our capacity for hatred, for greed, for spite and stuff like that. And I think out of all of his films, The Thing is the film that kind of encapsulates both so well simultaneously. This is weirdly another one where people have brought to it the idea of it being an allegory for the AIDS epidemic in America. He has come out categorically and said he wasn't going for that, but he's glad that people have found that in the film. I implore anybody who has not seen The Thing, his version, to go out and watch it. It is one of the most interesting creature designs I've ever seen, because it's not an individual creature. It's not one big bad monster. It is a cellular organism that mimics anything it comes into contact with. And the paranoia that causes as these guys at this deserted, this very remote Antarctic base realize, oh, one of us could be the thing. One of us could be infected by this, and they could be mimicking human behavior as they try to, get to all of us. And that human element, if that was all that was happening in the film, it would still be this incredibly tense thriller akin to 10 Cloverfield Lane. But then you've got Rob Bottin killing himself with stress at the age of 21, coming up with some of the gnarliest creature designs you have ever seen in your life. Every single time the creature reveals itself, it is this new, nameless, horrific shape that this living tissue suddenly takes form in. And the designs are just so incredible and uncanny valley. Like, you can see the original human or unfortunately dog features in there. You can see where the original features were, but how it's been bastardized into this new purpose for what the thing wants to use it for. And it's such a good, it's one of those films that you don't realize how much it's been parodied since. Like The Godfather is one of those films that you can almost go back and think The Godfather's a bit cliched because it does things that have now become cliched because it started it. And it's such a shit. Like, this film basically didn't do very well because it came out around the same week that E.T. did. And everyone was like, oh, yay, friendly alien, happy alien. Oh, no, very scary alien, bad, kill it with fire. And one of my favorite things about it is that this is quite a killable alien. You can kill it. With the right setup, you can take this on. Like, the first thing that they come across, they kill within seconds of meeting it, but that's not the danger done. Because it is this small, it's not like, oh, we've killed this creature, we're good now. It is, oh no, there's a much more pervasive threat here that we could still beat, but we're not going about it the right, and it's clever enough to kind of get its way out of it. And it is that kind of unknowable, it's almost a little bit Lovecraftian. It's not unknowable, I guess, because they do figure it out, and it's that sense of, we can't let this get to the rest of humanity because humanity will be decimated within, months if this thing gets out. And even the quasi remake prequel isn't bad. It just got ruined a bit too much by studio interference, saying, no, we want CGI transformations, when they had really good practical effects on it. But the characters in that, like, they do a really good job of matching that paranoia from the first film, and there's some really good performances. Like, Mary Elizabeth Winstead does a great job in it. Joel Edgerton does a really good job in it. But that original film is so good, and The Thing is terrifying.
it's one of the most disgusting monster
Yes.
designs. Like just when you think, oh, it's transformed, another thing comes out. I rewatched the transformation of the dog this
Oh,
morning because spoiler, it's my number two, so I won't speak
yeah.
about it at number two, just say my piece now. The head like goes apart like a
The
Stranger Thing
gold drops off. Like,
thing,
oh.
the jaw drops off, then the tongue's all flicking, then the spider legs come out, then all these like little tentacle things start whipping around and they keep coming out, then it sprays something.
You
Like
have no
you're
idea what it is.
like when does it end? Where like when does it stop transforming? Every new thing is absolutely revolting.
Mm,
I love that, but the reason why it's such a great monster is that, like you say, it's very killable individually, but
mm,
it has such an overwhelming like need to survive
yeah.
and evolved ways to survive just constantly by like attrition. Like the humans can't win. They
I
can't
love
win. They destroy it, and if the fingernail survives, the fingernail will get up and suddenly sprout
free
legs
off
and run
somewhere.
off to
Yeah.
the next town, and then that town's gone.
Mm,
Like gone.
yeah.
I love it. I love it.
I,
The
I love that
helplessness
blend
at the
of you
end.
can see like the human features that are still in the people, but you can see like maybe some like dog features for some, and then this stuff. It's like, well, that's not from any animal I've seen. It just adds to that lore of this thing has been to however many planets. It's got however many things like saved in its memory bank. Like you said, just like when the dog thing gets shot a lot with the gore, like, and it doesn't die, it just bleeds a lot, and it develops those like very specific grabbing arms just to get up and pull itself up. Then there's an eye on it that opens up to a mouth that it tries to kill Keith David with. And because it's Keith David, he's like, not today.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
only thing scarier than the thing is Keith David if he was a bit pissed off.
Yes, absolutely. Do not annoy Keith David.
Never.
Okay, right. So that was Holly's number two as well as Oliver's
Great segue.
three. Okay.
Sorry.
Michael, what's your number three?
My number three is not not everyone will have heard of this one. I don't know actually. It's not that unknown, but it's the Blob from the Blob.
Oh yeah.
Yes!
Um,
Oh!
because it is again unstoppable. You can't. Well, it's not unstoppable. You can stop it. You can pause it, but you can't actually kill it. And it's like it's there's a similar kind of thing in Dungeons and Dragons. In the gelatinous
This
cubes.
cube.
Yeah, if you end up inside it, you just get slowly dissolved, which is a horrific way to die anyway, to just be slowly dissolved by acid. But yeah, the blob is just, and again, it's that like, well, you can't reason with it, you can't stop it, it's just moving towards you. And it's like, is it even intending to kill you? I don't know, it's just moving, it's just a blob, it's just moving. Does it have wants? Does it have needs? Doesn't matter. If you're in its way, you're going to die. So you need to get away.
From what I can
Um,
see in the remake, it's definitely like stalking people. Like, it
it
definitely
is
is
more
that.
that I think I prefer the older, yeah, kind of like it's just a blob, but it's just,
It's just there.
coming. And I guess in a way, it maybe is scarier if it's it kind of actually stalking you, and coming to kill people. But at the same time, just the fact that something like that exists in that context is quite
Mm,
because it's not as if it can only eat people, it can eat buildings if it gets big enough.
yeah.
Vehicles, like arguably, if it got big enough, it would just absorb the world and
Mm.
then float through space until it came to another world where it was warm enough for it to unfreeze and start eating that world. And eventually, would be like a organic black hole, um, absorbing everything. But yeah, it's that idea of there's nothing you can do about this thing really. You could slow it down, you can stop it, you can drop it off in the Arctic, and then Exxon and Shell will keep doing their thing, and eventually it's coming back because execs need to make some more money. So stop
Have you
global
played
warming,
Lethal
guys.
Company, Michael?
I haven't, no.
Because there is a blob enemy in that. It's one of the only enemies that these days you can escape by getting up on a railing. But there is a way to stop that that's quite funny. Is you can just buy random things through the store in it, and one of them is a radio. And initially, if you have like, I mean, like not a walkie-talkie, I mean like an actual like boom box. And if there's a blob enemy in the because it's procedurally generated, so you don't know. But if there is a blob type enemy in there, it follows you faster because it's after that. But if you then, as you see it, put the boombox down, it will just surround the radio and kind of move rhythmically to the funky music, and then you're free from the terror of the blob in the remainder of that particular playthrough.
Right. I'm gonna play a bit of a predicting game. Um, Ollie, I'm assuming your number two is T-Rex. Okay.
Cheers.
Right. Um, I was about to say to you, do a quick thing on the T-Rex, but I don't know if you would know the word quick.
I do know the
Do a
word
th
quick.
do a thing on the T-Rex.
Look, I appreciate all of the arguments regarding the Raptor, and it was going to be one of the two. I think the three of us are in agreement. One of the two had to be in there, and I hear everything about the kitchen scene. I hear everything, but I think my clincher was the Raptors are working together. Mama T Rex is acting alone, and still manages to inspire just as much dread in probably slightly less screen time as well, because the kitchen scene is a very, very close second for my favorite moment in Jurassic Park, followed only by that moment in the rain outside the T-Rex paddock. That single scene is why T-Rex is number two for me. And I've spoken ad nauseum about that scene, how brilliant it is. Even if it's one of those, like, I am the overthinker. I'm the one who says, well, actually, this would happen and this would happen and this would happen. And this is one of those scenes I'm just not doing it with because I don't care, because it is the definition of cinema, that scene. It is utterly perfect. Stan Winston, again, doing an absolute job. The fact that we've got an animatronic T-Rex out there that was near enough real to size that juddered violently when it got too wet, when they were pouring Hollywood rain over it. So they had to, let it dry out for an hour before they could use it again. That perfect blend of the animatronic one with the CG, the genuinely terrified reaction of the kids when the T-Rex had just burst through the truck to get to them. The pacing of that scene, just everything. She is a queen. Long may she reign. She was done a bit dirty in the sequel by her New York rampage. It should have been a lot better than it was, but it was still pretty good. But that T-Rex paddock scene, oh my God.
I think given absolute respect in Jurassic World with the whole reveal of her towards the end and going and locking her paddock. And the realization that actually it's the same T-Rex.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not, because it's a weird, ugly CGI one that they've just
you know what we mean.
I do, and I wanted to love it, and I wanted to be the fanboy at that point, but I just, that
Just
moment
me
where
dying on Jurassic World Hill.
I know that moment where she like looks at Blue and they nod in understanding, like two old enemies that have come to an agree. Like, get in the bin. That's not my T-Rex. Nor was it my T-Rex that got absolutely bodied by a Spinosaurus. My T-Rex would never.
True. Michael is either about to solidify my prediction for everybody's number one or throw a massive spanner in the work. So, Michael, what's your number two?
It's definitely not everybody's number one. My number two. Okay, it's already been said, kind of.
Oh.
It's been said twice by different people at different. Well, it's not, because my number two is a category, but it's not so it's Godzilla.
Oh, right, okay.
But Godzilla, Kaiju's, Cloverfield monster in general, but specifically Godzilla, but the idea of them in general.
Yeah.
Because, and again, it's that big monster, unstoppable. But then you've also got the really fun side of it, like in Pacific Rim. It's like, yeah, there's big monsters, so let's build some big robots to punch them. And I will defend Pacific Rim forever because it's wonderful. Like, it's not a great film by any it's not winning any Oscars, but that's a really
it's stupid, but it's not trying to not be.
It's a lot of fun.
No,
it knows exactly what it's doing. Yeah,
it's such a fun film, and I think and I kind of like the whole Godzilla, and then you've got Mecha Godzilla, and you've got all these different versions of Godzilla, and you've got Godzilla King of Monsters, fighting the other monsters. And we've had so many different versions of Godzilla that there isn't really a category he's not fulfilled. He's been the hero, he's been the villain, he's been in the background doing something while something else goes on. And, and then Cloverfield has the whole, it is a kaiju, but we're not going to really show it. We're just going to kind of thing. And that's, again, that's a new take on it, but it's still the fact that it's this big, massive thing that's as big as a building moving through the city that's terrifying. And I don't think, like, I know that people would disagree with this, but I don't think this is a completely unwatchable Godzilla film.
No,
I think
I
they're
agree.
all kind of fun because it's in an inherently fun kind of. There's this big thing stomping through the city, and watching big things stomp through New York is always fun.
Do you remember what Siskel and Ebert said about the Roland Emmerich one?
No.
Because Siskel and Ebert were like very big critics of Roland Emmerich, like, oh, it's golf, it's
Well, that's why he's
neat.
called Mayor Reba, isn't he?
Yeah, so the mayor is this like tantruming child who wants candy
Sweets.
all the time, and his aide is like this sycophantic guy who's like, "Here's what I give your candidacy, 2 thumbs down." And they both pointed out, you had the perfect opportunity that if you really wanted to lampoon us, you had the perfect opportunity to get the monster to kill us, and you didn't. That's how brain dead you clearly are when it comes to filmmaking. Like that was your revenge moment right there, and you didn't do it for
Yeah.
no reason. Like,
Right. Now we've done this before. We've done this when it came to the 80s podcast and it went terribly wrong. Where we all got to the end of the 80s podcast and we said, surely everyone's got the same number one. And it ended up being that I had Ghostbusters, Ollie had Empire Strikes Back, Gemma had Goonies, and Sam
I
had
don't think I've
Bloodsport.
got the same number one.
Right. I'm
I think me and Holly do. I think you
right.
two. Yeah.
Well, actually, I've not even said my number two. My number two is Predator, which is why I've kind of just glossed over it. Because like Predator's great, and I still count as a monster, and blah 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 blah
He
blah.
definitely is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my number one, which I'm assuming actually is the same as Oliver and Holly's at this point, is the Xenomorph.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I
Michael's
get
in
why
the...
it's there, and it was like a contender for my list, but it's not there for a similar kind of reason. I think there's a level of intelligence with the Xenomorph, and I think the more things you've seen, the more it's like an I don't know, it's more of an apex predator than it is a monster to me.
But
And
have you
also
And
the same
played
all
Sully
Alien
from
aliens,
Monsters
Isolation?
Inc. isn't an
all
intelligent
this,
apex
all this,
predator.
all like all aliens and monsters is just racist. If I'm totally honest,
I'm fine
I
being
won't.
specious. When it comes to that absolute hell demon from H.R. Geiger's mind, I'm absolutely fine being specious, Michael.
But
Like,
no, I do like Alien, and the whole I like the Alien Isolation video game
it's
Oh
is
my
really
God.
terrifying.
good,
Stop
and I
it.
think there's a more quintessential horror movie monster. And I
I
guess
really
I'm
don't.
specifically thinking horror movies. Do you want me to
I
go with mine?
really.
Yeah, because I'm
I
lost now.
don't think
So,
Alien
so
is.
it's going to go in the face of a lot of things I've said, but I'll explain why. And it's Romero style zombies. And I
Okay.
think because you think you can take them and you can take one of them, and you're always eventually taken out by your own arrogance or by the fact that you just get complacent. And I think in every single film, every like Romero style zombie film, it's always, yes, you can take one or two out. Actually, it's not even that difficult because they're just weaker humans, and biting people is the least effective way for a human to attack someone. But eventually, if there's too many of them, you're screwed. Or if you get complacent and one of them manages to bite you, you're screwed. And I think that's what I like in Dawn of the Dead and things like that. And there's always that one. And everyone used to think that, yeah, but they wouldn't hide a bite mark. They'd realize, and COVID has taught us they absolutely would in the zombie
Yeah.
apocalypse. It is exactly those
Did you
people
get
that are
tested traced?
close.
What? No.
Exactly. People go, oh yeah, no, I've got taking pictures of fake tests and
Yeah.
stuff.
No,
So
I bit
no,
Nate. You can't prove that.
exactly. Yeah, my partner's just a bit aggressive sometimes. I mean, no, it would go that way, and we know it now. And I think it again, it is that arrogance would get us killed with Romero zombies. The fact that we're like, oh, it'll be fine. There's only 10 of them, and then in the morning there's 50 of them, and the next day there's 200,000 of them, and now you're stuck in a mall, and eventually the food will run out, and you'll have to try and get out in an armored bus, and it won't work. But
So
no,
what you're saying, Michael, is that man is the true monster.
man is the true man. Arrogance
Oh,
is the
you've
true
fallen
monster.
into the trap, man.
Falling into the trap. But no, I think that like I just like the whole, and I think that the fact that zombies are done to death, And the fact that with the raid monsters are so scary is because they're a twist upon what we came to expect from zombies, and they are kind of the horror monster. They're in everything. That the shambling undead are so pervasive in media because they're just such a staple. And for me, that got them to number one. I'll let you guys talk about the Xenomorph because I do like the Xenomorph.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just in terms of like terrifying movie monster, there
It,
isn't anything more terrifying, I think.
it is literally the first thing that came to as soon as Adam said, right, we're doing a movie monsters list.
Yeah.
Literally, split second, Alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Alien.
Like
Like it's mad that when you say Alien these days, like a lot of people will not think little green men with big bug eyes. They will think the Xenomorph because that
I
film
think
made
Mars
so.
attacks.
This, by the way, Adam, this is the kind of stuff I want people to remember when I get called the Edgelord.
Oh, right,
This
okay.
is
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
want
yeah.
people to remember
Michael's
because
just doing it to take a title from you. That's all it is.
yeah.
I don't think it's edgy to say zombies are the
I think
quintessential
it's
monster.
bloody edgy to not have the Xenomorph anywhere in your top 10 for movie monsters.
Maybe.
Anywhere, like even if you put them like lower down than we would, like the fact it's not in your top 10 is a crazy shout.
I apologize
Well,
profusely.
Like,
I mean, I think I think we can
I
all
mean,
agree that
from
like
the man who doesn't have King Kong or Godzilla on his list.
Yeah, King of
I
Monsters.
because
mean,
I
I
think
don't
I
either,
think I
but
think they are deeper. I think there is more to understand with them. Both of them have been heroes. The
nothing to understand
Xenomorph,
about the
What's
Xenomorph.
the Xenomorph? The
the
Weyland Yutani
Xenomorph. When is the
Corporation are the bad
Xenomorph the
guys.
hero outside of some weird Dark Horse comic?
Because they're fighting against the corporate overlords of Weyland Yutani.
Yeah, yeah.
No, but the
That's what it is.
humans are having to do that too. The
They're,
human,
a-
like
they're
he's
actually
And
just
way
they're actually
AI.
down.
just anarchists, and they're just here to destroy corporations and free us.
I just,
Well, because
yeah,
like
that
in terms of because when I wrote down like appearances and stuff like that, like obviously
Mhm.
Alien, Aliens, fantastic. Alien 3, yeah. Alien Resurrection, yeah.
yeah.
Um, Prometheus, Covenant, and Alien Covenant, like nah,
I kind of like Prometheus,
nah, no.
Nah,
Alien
I wanted
Romulus for
to,
me,
I really
like
didn't.
Alien Romulus, I thought was great.
Romulus is so
Have
good.
Here
you
for
seen
more of
the
that.
clip from the new with Elle Fanning is going to be? There's a clip of it, and it looks like she's one of those Weyland Yutani androids.
Oh, was it
Yeah,
Alien
she's
Earth?
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So
So
the
right,
the, the
Elle
mix in
Fanning.
the universe is still out there.
Hang on, Elle Fanning is in Predator Badlands. Alien Earth is a
Um,
different thing.
But obviously, they're
ah,
still keeping the universes
They're doing
mixed.
something because Elle
This,
Fanning in Predator Badlands is a Weyland Yutani AI.
yeah. So she's
So there's
clearly
still, yeah.
like, so she's what Michael Fassbender was in Prometheus. So they're clearly
Nobody is
keeping
what
all
Michael
that.
Fassbender was in Prometheus.
no one can compete with David.
With that flute scene, I'll do the fingering. Thank you, Michael. Thank
I'll
you
do
for
the
that.
basketball shot that Sigourney Weaver somehow did in Alien Resurrection. And you can just about see Ron Perlman losing his mind that she actually made it. I will like even in the bad films though, the aliens are great. Like I love the alien in Alien 3. I love that idea of it's come out of something different, so it's a slightly different design, it's less humanoid. I love that the aliens are slightly more intelligent in Alien Resurrection because there's the weird cloning of Ripley that's happened and she's slightly more alien. I love that weird human skull looking alien that gets birthed by the alien queen in that, even though it's very uncanny and sad the way it dies. Um, and like, but the big different one is that alien. Again, Stan Winston, King of Monsters. I just remembered the first time I saw that alien queen at the end of Aliens and thinking, ah, like that is like it was so clever because you'd be really tempted to just go very different with the alien queen, and no, they just did it but bigger and with more spindly limbs. And I like the intelligence as well because the intelligence is no more intelligent than an insect hive mind. It's not like human intelligence, really. You get the alien queen who can just about figure, oh, button. But like you can teach a parrot to do that. I wouldn't I wouldn't call a parrot particularly intelligent. But the design, the look, H.R. Geiger is a creepy guy. Like the
It's all
amount of
Yeah, it's all about the design for me. Like
yeah.
it's organic, but it's not. It's
Mm,
metallic, but it's not. It's like an insect's like shell, but it's shinier and sharper and like is it a bit of a scorpion or is it actually humanoid? Everything about it is unsettling.
mm,
Everything about it is like measured to feel off.
yeah.
Everything about it feels off. I just think it's the best design of any
Mhm.
like film creature
By a
ever.
by
Yeah,
a way.
But as we've
yeah,
I
seen
Black
from Robot
Nature, just
Chicken,
yeah.
if you manage to injure it because it bleeds acid, it will just continue falling through the floor until it falls out of the spaceship. So you only have to injure it enough to make it bleed a bit, and it's going to take itself out. It's
Yeah,
going to
but
fall
then it's
all the
also
way
gonna
through.
but then it's also gonna take you out because there's a pressure vacuum that sucks you through the floor. So that some would call that a Pyrrhic victory, Michael.
Maybe, but still a victory. Still a win. Still a win.
I love as well, like Dan O'Brien, Dan O'Bannon. Sorry, he was one of the screenwriters on it, and he really wanted to hype. He really wanted to dial in on um, the kind of sexual assault angle of it because it is a sexual assault. That alien,
Yeah.
it is very much that, and it is something that it's almost making men aware of it in a way that they probably weren't aware of before. The idea that this thing can latch onto your face, can force something down your throat, basically impregnate you against your will, and then that thing is going to burst out. Like that is a level of body horror that nothing can come close to.
Apart from having two C-sections.
But that's
Very
nearly.
similar experience.
I mean, you didn't.
Arguably, it'd be more horrifying if after it burst out, you didn't die, but you were forced to raise it.
Yes.
It was like
You
when
need to love and care for this thing now for 18
when
Now
years.
I have
when
to pay for nursery for
when Ellie was born, it was literally like passed to me, and I'm like, oh, what do I do?
it.
Tino play to grow as well. Imagine trying to buy clothes for that thing. Just
Well, I
starts
mean,
off that big, and then it's
we're,
8 feet tall.
we're forgetting the best appearance by the Xenomorph, which was clearly in Spaceballs. So then as soon
Yes.
as it bursts out of the chest,
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my
like does a
rectangle.
little bit of a
John
jig, you
Hurt
know.
going, not again.
Yeah. I'm very much looking forward to going back to work in September because I get to teach Alien. We're
Oh.
doing Alien and Vertigo for old Hollywood and new Hollywood.
Are you doing the director's cut of Alien or the theatrical
I
release?
think it's the director's cut. I have to check because sometimes the exam boards specify which one we need to do.
Mm.
But my hope is that because by the time with the scheme work, by the time I get to teaching it, it's around about Halloween time. So I'm hoping
Mm.
that one of the cinemas will put it on as a sort of thing, and we can all go and watch it in the cinema.
I
Um,
remember that was one of my fun movie experiences in and around. So Georgia got me tickets for it for my birthday, and we saw Alien. I can't remember where it was specifically, but they were showing a screening of Alien in a cave. And Alien's one of those films I reckon I've seen, near enough 100 times at this point. I know it beat for beat. I know it moment by moment. It's one of those films I could probably have my phone on in the background. And it doesn't scare me, but I still love the ratchet up to tension. But I do remember because we're in a cave and things are dripping behind you, and there's dark spaces up and above you and by the side of you. And I'm thinking, is that bastard like right there? Is he going to jump out?
some guy in a
Is he
suit.
jump out and get me? Just like I can't be doing with that. But yeah,
I do think
it
Alien's a very good one for maybe like a 360 film where you're like, and
yeah,
eventually someone is going to make this where you watch it with a VR headset and you're going to be in the movie some like as a character who doesn't speak. And
well,
then every time you watch it, you're going to be looking in a different direction at different times and you're going to have a
yeah.
different experience. So you're going to be like, oh, it came from my next time you're going to look.
Well,
And I think Alien would be a good one for that.
the Sphere in Las Vegas, which is this sort of like huge dome, and the video just goes all around. They're apparently figuring out putting films in there, and one of the first ones they're doing is Wizard of Oz. At which point they're sort of manipulating with like artificial sky and clouds and stuff to make it look immersive. But doing Alien in that would be terrifying.
Anything horror, and because it's like because I remember playing Resident Evil 7, and then playing because I realized, oh, I can play this on VR as well. No, like the option's there, but don't do it.
Imagine being psychotic enough to play Alien Isolation in VR.
Nope.
Yep.
Nope.
That's
Just
what I mean, but it would be such horrific, and it'd probably scar you and be horrible. But like, I think that's the kind of film that would do really well in that kind of genre, because of the fact that you would be looking around and you would start to feel nervous. And I think this is why video games do monsters so well, is because you attach yourself to the character. For movies are more passive than games.
Yeah.
And I think that's a thing for me. The alien in Alien Isolation is terrifying. But in the movies, and I think this is because like with a lot of these, I watched them when I was young. I was mid-20s when I watched Alien the first time. And I think I watched Alien 3 first. Because it was just on TV, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll watch this, why not? And it just never solidified in my consciousness at a
Well,
young age like some of these
I'm
did.
not surprised. It's not a great film. I will defend Alien 3 as well. I think it's a miracle the film got made at all, and I think the good stuff in Alien 3 is really good. I think if it's a shame we don't live in a parallel universe where David Fincher would be up for like having another crack at it or something. Like, you know what? Here's my take on Alien that I'm going to do now. Because can you imagine a David Fincher Alien film now? Oh my God. But yeah, I don't blame you for not gelling with Alien off the back of Alien 3 of all of them. I remember, I think I've said it before on the podcast. I'm pretty sure this was the first 18 rated film I watched with permission, because my mum was a massive horror cinephile, and it was on like, you know, when these films were just on Channel 4 or Channel 5 or something way back when. And my mum was like, oh, Alien's on, do you want to watch it? She judged at this point I was old enough to watch it, even though I was not 18. I was like 10 or 11, something like that. But she was like, oh, do you want to watch it? I was like, yeah, okay. And it was one of those moments like I realized that's where the face huggers came from, and I realized that that's where the chest burster came from, and just that ratchet up of tension as well. And also, I hope Holly will agree with me, one of the best movie cats of all time, Jonesy.
Certainly.
Jonesy, absolute boy. Love that cat. Survived to the sequel, and he got to live happily ever after on the station while Ripley buggered off to LV 426 to save Newt.
I think horror and monsters I think you gel with monsters at a certain age. It's like I watched The Exorcist relatively young when I watched The Exorcist, actually. Again, like maybe 8. But it didn't bother me because it was like I was so desensitized by playing video games and stuff. And I was just like,
Michael, were you raised Catholic?
I thought I was watching a comedy. No, I was raised
right. So I was raised Catholic, so Exorcist was just terrifying to me.
I don't know, it's just some kid with marks on her face. I mean, like, what's going on?
No, I knew that was the devil, and I thought the devil was coming for me.
He's being sick again, bloody hell.
Yeah. And I was more thinking, imagine having to clean that up. Oh my God, no, thank you.
No, thank you.
And I think that's the thing. I watched Alien, I was like, I knew all about it. I'd heard about it. I kind of knew what it was before I watched it. So all the tension was gone. And I think had I watched Alien, because playing Alien Isolation made me realize how terrifying the Xenomorph is. Because when you play the video game, it's like, oh, it's me. The Xenomorph's coming after me. I'm in danger. And I think that's what made me realize, oh, actually, the Xenomorph's quite scary.
I remember, based on what you said as well, Michael, I would have been interested to see if they'd have been, but you know, like, the weapon that packs the biggest punch in that game is the shotgun, and it does nothing against the alien, and I get that. But like, it would have been funny if you could get your hands on a pulse rifle and you can shoot it and kill it dead, but then exactly what you said happens. It dies, just melts through, and then it's a game over.
Or get like the BFG from Doom, but miss.
Yeah.
Just take a wall out.
Right. That's it then. Top 10 movie monsters are done.
Honorable mention to the Minions, obviously. They're the biggest monsters in any film.
Oh, of course. She's not even going to get to the end of this. So I don't even know why you've thrown
To be
that
fair, the Minions were definitely part of the Nazi party. So like,
I said this!
Actual
Michael,
monsters historically.
learn your lore. They were in a cave. They were in a cave through World War One and World War Two.
Well,
They didn't
isn't
come
that
out
convenient?
until
Yeah.
the 1960s.
A lot of people
Nazi
claim that from that time. To be fair, Hugo Boss says something similar, but
Yeah,
you've seen
Hugo
those
Boss was
SS
trapped in a cave
uniforms.
as well.
A
Very
lot of
stylish,
sewing
weren't they?
machines in that cave.
W were trapped in a cave, weren't they, Michael?
But how puntable are the minions?
The minions.
Super
What, I
But
don't know
again,
what's
it's
more
like
puntable out of
remember
the minions and
zombies.
the
It's
Ewoks. It's probably the
numbers.
minions.
They're going to get you in numbers. The minions. There's too many
Yeah.
of them. They'll swarm you.
Yeah.
Seriously, like I know we're still in the middle of this, but I'm just going to throw this. Our Royal Mail delivery person is the most aggressive person I've ever heard knock on a door in my life.
Oh.
Oh,
I think
so
we have the
quickly.
same one. Yeah.
She's on the rounds. Just
Yeah.
my God, honest to God. Right. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for listening. If you've made it this far, we'll find out. And
Sam won't laugh.
yes, we'll be back. I think next week we're doing the movie fights. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does that sound about right?
Adam can't wait
That's
for my
right.
list, I'm sure.
Oh my God. Yes, it is. It's next Monday. We are back with fight scenes.
I'm going to get K-pop Demon Hunters in there.
Oh God.
Yes. I'll watch
It's not
it
even
this
a joke.
week.
It's in there. It's on my list.
Stay safe. Look after each other, and we will see you next time.